Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Salute the LTTV in the building, man.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Nobody's LT, and I'm certainly not implying that.
Shout out to LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Salute the LTTV in the building, man.
Shout out to brother LTTV.
Shout out to LTTV.
Nobody's LT, and I'm certainly not implying that.
LT cooking your ass.
LTTV, whatever his channel name is called. I'm sorry for being the dusty. How about that?
Can we talk about crepuscular rays for a second?
A lot of times when men make money and they acquire status, they acquire that money and status, and the first thing they do is get rid of problematic women a lot of the times, right? Because you don't make that kind of money and you don't get that level of status and want to come back and deal with a woman that's going to sit there and argue with you. Like the dumbest thing that women say is like, oh, yeah, you don't want a woman that challenges you? No, you dumb whore. Like, no, thank you. We got to go out and fight the world. The reality is most women are retarded, okay? And the reality about this that guys need to understand when I say that most women are retarded is that the software is always the same. The hardware is what's different, whether the skin color, the cultural background, whatever, the hardware is always the same. Sorry, the software is always the same. The hardware might be different. So what ends up happening is, let's say you did come from an inner city, you were the top guy, then you go to a big Division I school. You're not seeing Shaniqua and LaQuisha anymore. You're seeing, Becky and a bunch
Jennifer.
A lot of the women that are getting upset at the fact that he is stating this, that it is true, and that a lot of guys are divesting themselves from the type of women that they originally had available to them once they start to get resources and they become more successful.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, man. I can't tell you how many times, because here's the thing, right? Like, you don't know what you don't know, right? So, like, let's say you're growing up in the hood, right? And all you've dealt with is, like, ratchet women that are kind of rough around the edges. And, like, you've been indoctrinated to think, like, you should be accepting this. Like, this is great. Cool. You'll deal with it for a bit. But then you get some money and status, and then you date an Asian girl. She ain't talking back to you. She rubs your feet without you asking. She's making you food. You know what I mean? She's bringing you around her Chinese friends and stuff like that. You're walking into the, to the grocery store. Niggas aren't telling you hurry up and buy no more. You're like, damn, this feels kind of nice. So what ends up happening, right? Like, okay, this is nice. Like, I've never experienced this before. And when you get this different treatment, you're like, damn, I can't go back to LaQuisha now. I'm not trying to argue with her. I like Ling Ling. Ling Ling loves me a long time and she don't argue with me.
What?
Nah. Fuck this. Fuck the intro. This is filthy work. Now, fresh off of the Daisy saga. You would think that this nigga has a little bit of memory. He can recount and recall what the fuck happened to Fresh about Ling Ling. What the hell are you talking about? Ling Ling, love you long time. What the fuck are we doing out here? This motherfucker, this is what happens when you narrow people down to their worst stereotype and then just put that on a group of women and say, yeah, that's why Fresh ended up with the so-called Ling Ling, right? The woman that loves him long time, the submissive, nice, sweet woman, because you guys just generalized Asian women and you ended up with Daisy. Come on, man. Yeah, LTTV, Blunt Talk with LT, back at it with another video. Now let's get right into this one. Myron out here doing the most on a coon platform, on a pathetic coon platform, Anton Daniels platform. All right, let's look at this real quick because we recently seen something from this racist whore. What's her name? Shiloh Hendricks.
You're a victim.
All right, this is the type of platform that we're watching. Myron call into. All right. Myron called into this platform. Anton Daniels. This is the type of comments following the Shiloh event. So if y'all aren't familiar with this, let's get into this. Before we get into the comments.
A child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people.
Nobody digging to your.
A little kid just dig you, dog.
That little kid, you call him a.
Yeah.
The little child?
What if he acts like one? He's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act.
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know that's a hate speech, and you can be the that.
I don't give a.
Huh. Okay, we'll see about that with the.
You guys, Karen was on fire. But guess what? Guess what she did? She opened up a GoFundMe. Okay.
Yeah, 638,000. Right now it looks more like this. So this woman goes, this white woman, this racist white woman. Not all white women are the same. She's a racist one. All right. So 700,000 USD because she went viral for calling a 5-year-old black boy the N-word. You had all sorts of racist folks jumping out in her defense to the tune of 700,000 raised. This is America. This is America. Not where I'm at. I'm talking about where she's at. This is America. This is what it is, y'all. This is the country y'all live in. It's filthy work out here. All right, let's get back into this though. Let's listen to what they got to say about this. Because this really paints some perspective of what type of platform they got going on over here. When you look at the comments, nobody seems like they give a shit. No black person calls each other the hard ER. Stop it. That's the only thing that I'm seeing that's going against whatever rhetoric we're about to hear from this platform. Everybody else saying Ava cooking, Anton cooking, Ava 100% right. She called it and she called it like she saw it. Wow, so somebody's really just backing her. This is like that stupid, that dumbass Chris Rock shit that he used to say. Remember when Chris Rock was like, some folks are there's a difference between black folks and niggers? That really just embodied a bunch of racist folks to be like, yeah, you're acting like a nigger. And it's like, nah, you don't get to do that, bitch ass motherfucker. But yeah, let's get back into these comments. Folks are acting like she stabbed and unalived somebody. See, this goes back to the Austin Metcalf situation where the nation was split and divided over an incident where a white young... How old was these motherfuckers? How old was Metcalf? These were some teenage motherfuckers, right? So Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. Austin Metcalf thinks that he has the power to just remove a motherfucker from his tent and put hands on Carmelo Anthony. Ended up getting him stabbed. Folks were enraged. They're like, how are you doing this? X, Y, and Z. And I look at this and I'm like, okay, so You feel entitled to just put your hands on this boy instead of getting one of your seniors or a supervisor to remove him from the tent that he's not supposed to be in. So you fucked around and found out.
Oh!
Yeah, he's at Carmelo Anthony's facing charges now. He got support from the community, but he brought a knife at a track meet, a school track meet, and stabbed somebody for getting physical with him. Now he's facing murder charges. He fucked around and found out too. I'm like, why is this a case? Why is this a story? Why is everyone split over this? They chose their path. You brought a knife to school and stabbed somebody. Why would you do that? Yeah, you needed self-defense, but why would you do that? The white kid put his hands on him. Why do you think you're empowered and entitled to put your hands on somebody without someone putting their hands or doing some sort of other physical violence? Folks need to understand you got to keep your hands to yourself. But let's get back into the main part of this. Before we get into this, let's get into the... Hold up, chat. Because I don't even know what they're going to say in this. I just read the comments and I'm like, wow, they're all on Anton's side and Ava's side, but they're not pissed off at the woman at all. They're like, yeah, black people are overly sensitive to the N-word. I'm like, okay, so you guys just allow people to just disrespect your children and think that that's okay, regardless of it being the N-word or the child being called a bitch or whatever the fuck you want to call a child. It's like, what are you doing? You're a grown-ass adult. You should know better. They're caping for these behaviors from white women, but they want to get on air and constantly chastise and denigrate black women. It makes no sense. Let's get into this, though. Let's get into the main thing we're here to react to. Myron calling into Anton Daniel's show.
And like I said, it's my fault. Like you said, why are you not with a white girl? Like ultimately, I don't want to be with a white girl. Like they're fun, they're easy sex, but like I want a pretty ass black woman to just fucking act right. And that is why I am not married, because I have yet to find that in a black woman.
Slimmy, what do you think?
Women are women. I don't give a fuck what color they are. Women are women. They don't want to be held accountable. They're going to tell you the truth if they want to or not. It doesn't depend on what color their skin is. Like, if they want to be around you, they're going to act a certain way. They're going to act cool. They're going to put on a show. But mostly women are women. And I've dealt with women of all kind. And women are women. There ain't no differences. None. Now, there might be some cultural differences where I'm not going to get into the cleanliness and all that shit. Because there's some cultural differences. It's just like, I don't know about that. But women are women. I don't give a fuck about what the color of their skin is. Man, they're going to be emotional. You know what I'm saying? Then they're not going to apologize until it's too late. They're not going to realize what's going on until it's too late. And it does not matter what color or creed they are. I'm sorry. I don't buy that shit. I think that's people trying to fit a narrative so they can go out and date a certain type of woman. That's just me personally.
Can I ask you a question? Like, real, have you ever dated a white woman?
I've dated women of every kind, bro. Like, I'm dead ass. Asian.
No question.
Yes, I've dated white women. I've dated them. It ain't. I don't see a difference.
They're understood.
I think the problem is the type of men that are approached. I think it's on the man. I don't think it's on the color or the creed of a woman. If you approach, it depends on how you approaching every woman. If you approaching every woman like you just want to fuck them out the gate, you're gonna get certain results.
I think
you're gonna get certain results. It don't matter on the creed or the race.
Don't take the.
Now he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
Personal, but I think it's ignorant.
When I'm saying he's the only part that he's wrong about is saying that women are all the same. Like, you can generalize, but come on, there's individual characteristics between people. They really, I don't know, man. Sometimes it seems like when you hear these conversations, it's like they're lowering women down to this AI software, where it's like, it's weird.
To say that women from different cultures are all the same.
No, that's not what he said.
I didn't say that.
Well, you said all women are the same, and all these women are from different cultures.
That's not what
they're
you
all
meant.
the same.
No, I'm talking about the functionality. I'm speaking to the functionality of women. The functionality of women overall is the same. Now, when you get into the cultural differences, that's where you get different things. But ultimately, women are going to be emotional. That's not going to change. A lot of women, they're just not accountable. I think
that's
you
for
come.
sure.
I think women are the same, but people want to create narratives, so they try to say this type of woman is better than this type of woman. Women are women, men are men.
Now that's facts, because people legitly love to run these narratives. You see Myron gets on this panel and pedestalizes white women. And I'm like, Myron, you're with a Venezuelan import. You couldn't find one of those great white women that you pedestalized in America. What happened to that? You see what happened with Shannon Sharp? That's why this nigga's in the thumbnail.
Oh!
Pedestalizing young white 19-year-old women. Always trying to fit a certain archetype that you pedestalize and think it's better than others. It's like, who are these niggas? And you get on platforms trying to teach and lead other motherfuckers. It's like, come on, man. They all have it's like they have zero knowledge, zero insight to other races and how people traverse the dating sphere. It's ridiculous, but let's get into this.
I think
it depends on how you raised on, basically, for real. If you raised to be a piece of shit, you're going to be a piece of shit.
Yep. It's facts.
I don't think that's based on color or creed or none of that shit.
It's not.
Well, you said it's based on how they raise, and white people raise their women different than black people raise their women. So,
you sure?
With that alone.
You sure? You 1,000% sure of that?
Well, you just said it. You just said it was. I was using your words. I didn't make that up.
No, I'm saying.
Don't get mad, bro. I'm not trying to argue with you right now. I'm just trying to. It's just too simple to say all women are the same because it's not true.
Okay. Well, what do you feel is the difference?
Their experiences molds them, and it makes them different.
Yes, we're talking on an individual level. What Slimmy's trying to say, if this is my interpretation, is that we're more similar than we are different. As in, most men are similar, they're kind of the same, and most women are kind of the same, they're similar. And then the individual upbringing, culture, certain things that will influence their behavior will make them distinguished as different human beings. Like, you have to make that difference. But, like, come on, man. I think common sense is missing in this conversation.
They act and how they engage with men, their experiences, makes them different.
Okay, I mean, I need you to elaborate on why women of different races are different. Like, I'm saying, like, what's the differences? What have you experienced that are the differences?
Do white people in large, are they just having families with no fathers in the home, or is that a black people thing?
What do you mean? That don't matter about fucking race.
I think that
That ain't no race thing. It's white people that don't have that got single parent homes. What are you talking about, Quentin?
But it's mostly black people, and when the father's not in the home, these women looks different.
I think the thing is that in the black community we embrace it more, and we pedestalize it more.
He's talking about on a macro level, Slimmy.
Which is why our women are different. Like, all this, like, molds women and what it looks like when they go out into the world. No?
Say that again.
It molds the women, how they're raised, with their experiences. It looks different.
In what way?
If I get a white girl from the suburbs and I date her, and I get a black chick from the ghetto, it looks different because where they came from.
This is once again disingenuous framing. Because when Myron calls it, well, he just popped up on the panel. This is what happens. You see a bunch of black men grow up in a hood, in a ghetto, and they're dating those type of women. So what they do now when they're NBA, NFL stars is their groupies, a lot of them are white women that are available, that are submissive, that are begging to get their attention, and they're within proximity. Those dudes date those women. They automatically assume that they're a different level of class. They hit it off. They have the chemistry. They match, whatever. It's like, who the fuck cares? all this policing of who the hell dates who. And a lot of the shit is folks will campaign for a certain type of woman. They pedestalize them while denigrating another type of woman. For what purpose? For financial gain. Because they know a lot of folks love to come online and listen to the same complaints about the same women because they're hurt, they're damaged, whatever the fuck the case may be. When you are coming from an impoverished area and you want a different level of woman, you're going to have a different class of women in different areas. So you're going to get a suburban woman. It doesn't have to be a white suburban woman. He compared a white suburban woman to a black ghetto woman. Why didn't you compare a black ghetto woman to a black suburban woman? When it, like, come on, man. That's what they do.
That's cultural. Okay, so you get a white woman from the suburbs and a black girl from the suburbs. What's the difference? 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 I'm asking you.
I hate arguing with you, bro.
Because you can't, you don't like this because you don't want anyone to make you substantiate your arguments. You can't just say blanket statements.
You're the king of not substantiating your argument.
Bro, I just clearly broke down everything, my dude. What are you talking about? I'm asking you what are the differences? You just said a black woman, a white woman in the suburbs and a black woman in the ghetto. We know there's gonna be differences.
Exactly.
So a woman in a trailer park is gonna look the same as a white woman in a trailer park is gonna look the same as a white woman in the suburbs?
Can I comment on this?
Yeah, go ahead, do your thing.
What's up, Anton? Thanks for having me on, bro. I had to come in and show love because you showed me love, and I don't forget those that show support, man.
Now, my video is covering Anton right now. I didn't know that Anton showed Myron love. I thought he was critical of his dumbass crash outs, but you know, I don't watch Anton, so I don't know.
So I figured I'd come in here real quick. So what I'm about to say does not represent any of the members of the panel, so I'm just going to be very honest and blunt about what I'm about to say, because it might be offensive. The reality is most women are retarded, okay? And the reality about this that guys need to understand when I say that most women are retarded is that...
Now, we got some newcomers in the chat. All right, so this guy says Myron is right, and Myron started his diatribe off by saying women are retarded.
Again!
Yeah, so Myron's right, huh? Myron's cooking on this one, huh? Yeah. Yeah.
The software is always the same. The hardware is what's different, whether the skin color, the
software is always the same. The programming is always the same. The hardware, the external, that's going to be different. So the woman that you imported as a beard from Venezuela, she's the same as an OnlyFans thought. She's the same as Daisy, who ran Fresh's pockets and almost had him looking like a goddamn goofy online.
Again!
Interesting. This is the guy that says women deserve less while getting caught in bed with several men's.
I've seen him do it.
Like, what are we doing? Shirtless, fingers interlocked. Myron, Mr. Hates Women is telling us about women right now. Come on, man. This is pathetic. Yo, come on, man.
Survey said, get him out of here. He's got no place in here. Get rid of him. Okay.
Shout out to John with the $10 super chat.
Donations.
John says black people from higher income communities display the same factors as white people from the same. Both parents, greater emphasis on education, etc. Just like a white girl in the hood will be ratchet. That is absolute facts. That is facts. Come on, man. Man, these low-level idiots in the red pill, man. They just want to hear the same old jargon because black women hurt their feelings so bad. And the funniest thing about this show is you have a bunch of black women on the panel. A bunch of black women on the panel not displaying any of the characteristics that Myron described in black women. Oh, majority of them are like this. And they're just like, yeah, they're chilling. Some of them even agree. And I'm like, how do you agree, ma'am?
The cultural background, whatever, the hardware is always the same. Sorry, the software is always the same. The hardware might be different. So,
not at all. Not at all. Even from this super chat, a white girl from the hood, a black girl from the hood, they share more similarities than a black woman with a higher income, with the same white woman of a higher income that grew up in a much better family structure in a community. What the hell are we talking about?
The only real difference, right, sometimes is cultural situations, background, the way they grew up, etc., will maybe dictate their mannerisms, the way they behave, and what they're trying to do. But at the end of the day, all women are trying to do the same thing, which is do what? Get the best man that they can get based on their education level, socioeconomic level, where they stand socioeconomically. And that's just kind of how it goes. Now, different races and different cultures obviously go about it in different ways, right? We can look at a lot of black women. They're attracted to the thug type. They're attracted to men that exude masculine characteristics, though they might be more, you know, reminiscent of like being a criminal, because these are traits that women look for in a lot of situations. Or it could be, you know, the white girl who's looking for a guy who has some money and some status and has some bad boy tendencies, but, you know, has some status alongside it. So every race goes about it in different ways, but the reality is women are all looking for the same type of guy. The way they go about it might be differently, because hypergamy, you know, extends regardless of, you know, what a woman's race is. You know, just so happens that they go about it in different ways, but the reality is that women are always going to fall to hypergamy.
Do you think that it changes based off of culture or race? So, like, for example,
sure,
what Paul Pierce saying that a lot of
this whole crying over hypergamy shit is ridiculous. As a man, are you trying to get the mid-tier woman? Are you trying to get the woman that you think is aight? Or are you trying to get the best possible woman that you can get? The same way you're trying to flip it on the inverse. Oh, women are trying to get the best possible man. It's like, my nigga, why would they not? Why would they settle with your dusty ass when there's others out there? Oh! Like, come on, man. Come on, man. These guys are trying to corner these women, trying to make them settle for less, like this dumbass's book. Nigga couldn't even fill up the book. Didn't have enough content to fill up the damn book and made up an excuse. Like, come on, man. This is pathetic.
NBA players, because see, my opinion of it, when Paul Pierce said that a lot of NBA players or athletes go for white women, I think that a lot of NBA players that I've met has just been goofy. Like, a lot of them are young. A lot of them haven't necessarily.
If that's your interpretation, that's pretty sad, man. The context in which Myron framed the women compared to the way Slimmy framed, like, come on, man. Come on, man. Of course, you can see the similarities by basically summing them up to all the same. But the way Myron framed it, the hardware, all of them are retarded. Like, come on, man. It's not the damn same. Are we kidding out here? Shout out to John with the $2 super chat.
Donations.
John says, if Oprah single and ready to mingle boy toy status, hey, yo. What the hell? Shout out to John with the $2 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
Lived long enough. A lot of them get resources, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they understand the dynamics of women. A lot of times they just get with women based off of what's available, and a lot of them are at their hotel rooms, or a lot of them at the hotel before they even show up. Do you think that...
Mind you, we're listening to a man who's been with his high school sweetheart for the past however many years. Mr. One Jine hasn't dated around, doesn't know the dating sphere, wants to talk about all about the dating market and the dating marketplace, but he's been married for that last how many years? He's been with his high school sweetheart? Come on, man. What are we doing out here, Mr. Virgin?
You're a victim.
Myron Gaines, Mr. Sus, caught in the bed with men's. Girlfriend has a beard. These guys, the most inexperienced men speaking about dating. If Fresh didn't have a stutter, we would probably want to listen to him a little bit more.
The cultural differences also yield different results when it comes to women. And I'm not even just talking about athletes. I'm talking about great men in general. Do you think that the cultural differences or the race plays a role in whether or not men are attracted to them? Or do you just think that it's culture by itself and the type of men that women go after?
I mean, it's such a multitude of different things. Like, if we're going to talk about NBA players, right, for example, just as the first one. So a lot of these guys play college first. When you're in college, a lot of the times you're in a white dominant, you know, situation where you're an athlete, you're Division I athlete. I could say this from experience from being Division I athlete myself. Like, the women are going to just gravitate towards the D1 athletes. And then when you're a basketball player or a football player at a Division I school, you're kind of at the top of the pecking order from a social status perspective. So what ends up happening is, let's say you did come from an inner city, you were the top guy, then you go to a big Division I school, you're not seeing Shaniqua and LaQuisha anymore. You're seeing, you know, Becky and a bunch of other white girls from Midwest. So like your thing switches, and men, we like variety. So since men like variety, this is something different that I'm not used to. Oh, I'm gonna go with this. And what's happening a lot of times is these guys will get a girl in college, and that girl will kind of follow them along. And then, you know, they might have that chick as a woman that was with them when they were playing sports, or they might find a girl once they get into league or whatever. But what I've realized is, like, with men, it just comes down to variety. I don't think men care so much about, you know, everyone has their preferences, of course, but I think what men care about the most is, like, is this girl going to be submissive, not be a pain in the ass? Because a lot of times when men make money and they acquire status, they acquire that money and status, and the first thing they do is get rid of problematic women a lot of the times, right? Because you don't.
Now, theoretically, idealistically, yes. The men that are responsible, the men that have shit to lose and they understand it, not the Shannon Sharps of the world, not the Freshes of the world. Even Myron fucked that shit up too with that. There was that Anna girl, man. There's a whole. They fucked up a bunch of times, man. You would think that men would do that. Idealistically, they would, but in practice, you don't see that happening a lot. You've seen Paul Pierce getting fired from ESPN for having a bunch of women in the background dancing, and his like people do all sorts of irresponsible shit, and they're unaccountable for it. But men are perfect and responsible all the time. Come on, man. We fuck up, man.
Gonna be submissive, not be a pain in the ass, because a lot of times when men make money and they acquire status, they acquire that money and status, and the first thing they do is get rid of problematic women a lot of the times, right?
What he's saying is when men get money and status, and this goes for like the famous, successful, rich folks, idealistically, you would want to get rid of that problem. How did that go for Will Smith? How did that go for Papoose? Like, a lot of folks, idealistically, you want to, but in practice, it doesn't always happen. Sometimes
because you don't make that kind of money and you don't get that level of status and want to come back and deal with a woman that's going to sit there and argue with you. Like, the dumbest thing that women say is like, oh, yeah, you don't want a woman that challenges you? No, you dumb whore. Like, no, thank you. We got to go out and fight the world. Last thing I want to do is come back and argue with a woman. And this is one of the biggest misconceptions.
No, he's right about this. He's right about this. Ain't nobody want a problematic, argumentative, back and forth, everything is a fucking fight. Nobody wants that in their household. He's right about that. The delivery may have been a little bit harsh, but he's right about this part.
That women actually push out there saying, don't you want a woman to challenge you? And this is like propaganda from like the 2000s of Neo saying, I want a woman who wants her own, independent woman, whatever, blah, 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 which we've been indoctrinated to believe these lies. We've been pushing this like whole independent woman thing and a woman that can earn on her own for literally the better part of a couple of decades. And guess what happens? Neo lied to everybody. What is he doing now?
Survey said
stop listening to hip hop. Stop taking R&B and hip hop. Stop listening to music and being finessed by songs that are just songs for entertainment. You're buying into it and feeding into it like these. Like, come on, man. This is music. This is the entertainment business. I don't know why fools do that shit.
He has like 2 or 3 girlfriends that he supports. This whole
Beyonce was singing Single Ladies while fully married. Like, she's trying to empower the single ladies. Like, we know what the song was for. Why do folks do this dumb shit where they hold the artist accountable for art? It's like, come on, man.
Independent woman thing is a lie. Beyonce, oh yeah, I could find another you in a minute. What's she doing? Jay-Z cheats on her? She's still there. So it's all cap. It's all a lie. So I think it's really important for people to kind of like deprogram from like what's been pushed, especially in the black community, when it comes to like, I want a strong independent woman and any of this stuff. That's not what men are looking for. Like, and rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, because he brought this to light more, especially in the black community, kind of like indoctrinating women, like trying to deprogram women with the indoctrination of like, your career, your status, your title. Men really don't care about these things. And the more money and resources they acquire, the less they care about it. So that's kind of what it comes down to. I think a lot of it comes down to the women are available because of their proximity to, access to women, being a college athlete. They acquire more money and resource, which, is obviously going to put them in position with these women. And then just really what it comes down to is who's available, who's hot, and who's not going to be a pain in the ass. If these things line up, a lot of the times they're going to go with the chick, is what I've realized.
Okay, so as he's saying this, what in the fuck does that have to do with race? As he described that, They're
comes down to I think a lot of it comes down to the women are available because of their proximity to, you know, access to women, being a college athlete. They acquire more money and resource, which, you know, is obviously going to put them in position with these women. And then just really what it comes down to is who's available, who's hot, and who's not going to be a pain in the ass. If these things line up, a lot of the times they're going to go with the chick, is what I've realized.
Yeah, I agree with that. What do you think about a lot of the women that are being or getting upset at the fact that he is stating this, that it is true, and that a lot of guys are divesting themselves from the type of women.
divesting themselves?
Nigga, you gotta go. The fuck is wrong with you?
As a black man who employs black women, who has a black daughter, has a black wife, who works with black men who date other black women, this man gets up on panels and platforms and just says anything. Like, what are we doing out here?
Upset at the fact that he is stating this, that it is true, and that a lot of guys are divesting themselves from the type of women that they originally had available to them once they start to get resources and they become more successful.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, man. You know, I can't tell you how many times, because here's the thing, right? Like, you don't know what you don't know, right? So, like, let's say you're growing up in the hood, right? And all you've dealt with is, like, you know, ratchet women that are kind of rough around the edges, and, like, you know, you've been indoctrinated to think, like, you should be accepting this. Like, this is great. Cool. You'll deal with it for a bit, but then you get some money and status, and then you date an Asian girl. She ain't talking back to you. She rubs your feet without you asking. She's making you food. You know what I mean? She's bringing you around her Chinese friends and stuff like that. You're walking into the, you know, to the grocery store. Niggas aren't telling you hurry up and buy no more. You're like, damn, this feels kind of nice. So what ends up happening, right? Like, okay, this is nice. Like, I've never experienced this before. And when you get this different treatment, you're like, damn, I can't go back to LaQuisha now. I'm not trying to argue with her. I like Ling Ling. Ling Ling loves me a long time and she don't argue with me. And this is what ends up happening a lot of
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
times with guys is like, you don't know what you don't know until you experience it. So when they get this money, they get the status, they get access to it, you can't go backwards. So that's what's happening a lot of the times with these guys that get some status. Like, you just put around women that kind of know their place just off of the imbalance of your status and your income. They know to shut the fuck up and know what it is. So women just naturally know this stuff. But when they know that they have more status than you, they got more money than you, and they could talk back to you.
So what excludes black women from these activities? Because he's like, when you get out of the hood, you get around from these scrappy, these whatever the fuck the adjectives he used to describe these women. Why are black women excluded from these? I'm confused.
You're gonna do it, but once you reach a certain level of status, women start to be quiet, and it's fantastic.
What about the guys that get finessed? So, like, for example, I know that it's a lot of women that make the adjustment because they know that they're around a certain type of guy. And then Q Diddy, you can jump in too, but I just got this one last question. What about the guys that wind up getting finessed?
Q Diddy? That's what he put as his name? What the fuck? All right, man.
That's the biggest problem. And this happens so much. I mean, me and you have seen it, Anton, probably like in this sphere on, you know, with celebrities every single time, you know, especially with young guys that have a lot of money that like that trick or do some other stuff, especially like on these OnlyFans girls, because like it's a cool thing now to get with these e-thoughts. So that's the biggest problem for guys that have some influence and some status. And this is why it's so important to be like red pill aware.
He just said that when men get influence and status, they divest themselves from the problematic women right into the OnlyFans thoughts. Like, what the fuck are we doing out here? That's why I said idealistically. Idealistically, men should be doing X, Y, and Z. The celebrities, the millionaires, they should be protecting their investments, their wealth, their status, everything that comes with their social status. But you see them all the time have the proclivity to fuck with these fucking OnlyFans 304s and then complain about it after and act like they're the victims, like they didn't know what the hell they were doing. It's like, come on, man. You chose the bottom dweller and you got bottom dweller results and you surprised?
Fugazi, Fugazi.
Shout out to Go Rambo or Go Ram 6, however the fuck you say that, with the $2 super chat.
Donations.
You said, doesn't Myron argue with women for a living? Ironic. Yep, that's what he does. And then he does the mental gymnastics and acts like that's not what he's doing. That's what his show consists of every show that has the women on the panel. Every show. Just arguing with women.
Brother,
Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
Donations.
John says, yeah, shout out to John, man. Shout out to John. W's in the chat for John. We playing with John out here right now. Pause. W's in the chat for John. John says, not wanting a problematic woman isn't the same as wanting an obedient pet. I want a woman who, if I'm not around or die, she handles the business. It's facts. That's facts. These motherfuckers want these. That's why Myron says all these women are retarded, because Myron keeps these OnlyFans birds around him that are incapable of doing anything, and he just tries to use their existence to describe most women. But he's always around the OnlyFans thoughts because that's what gets him the views on his channel. It's pathetic. And nobody wants a slave. Nobody wants yes sir, just doing things because you know the bag's involved, or like nobody wants that. These guys are weird, man. Let's get back into this.
Especially when you got some money and status. Like, you have to be even more on point because you have way more to lose. I mean, look at what's going on right now with Shannon Sharp. Like, this is wild, right? But he should have kind of known that this chick being an OF girl, because I guarantee you, like a chick like this.
She should have known, but you made the same mistake. He made the same mistake. And then Fresh made the same mistake, and then you tried to be unaccountable for Fresh. How are you saying you should have known? All you motherfuckers should have known, but y'all love to pedestalize the OnlyFans thoughts.
You offer a girl $10 million, most girls would have taken that deal. You know what it is? He promised her a dream and she didn't get it. So now she's gonna burn down the house with everything because the vitriol at which she's going at him and how she's trying to make this public and tarnish his name in the process, whilst hurting her own reputation, by the way. Like, the fact that she's going so hard tells me that he made some promises to her, like, oh, you're gonna be the one, I love you, blah, blah, blah. They're in a long-term relationship, so they probably had some kind of serious talks.
Bro, she was a 19-year-old struggle Becky with limited education. Why are you expecting a level of intellect from this whore? What was wrong with this guy? Are you kidding me? She's like all this fame, attention. She doesn't care about the headlines. She doesn't care about the negativity. She has OnlyFans subscriptions that she's selling right now. She's making money out this. And then she has this lawsuit. She doesn't care. She's crashing out.
So I think, like, what's going on with that situation is he made some promises, he's not keeping them, and now she's pissed off.
What was you about to say, Quentin?
I was raising my hand to the guy that gets finessed.
Oh, you get finessed?
I have been.
I think it's a part of the journey, though. Like, every single guy has
This is what you see commonly. It's always the finessed, hurt, and depressed that get up on panels and talk shit about black women. It's like you were interested in those women. Things didn't go your way. So the women that you were interested in, now you have a level of disdain for them, and now you're looking for women outside of your interest, but things didn't go your way. So you're hurt, you're disgruntled, and you're on the panel. Women had you saved as food in their phone. You were one of those guys.
You're a victim.
And the problem is, too much of these squares, too much of these straight up losers, these dweebs are leading the conversations as it pertains to relationships. And it's like, my guy, you're not him. Have several seats. You should not be speaking for black men. Our existence is not yours. Damn, man, it's pathetic.
Taking it out whether you were nice to a girl that didn't deserve it, you courted a girl too much, you got stuck in the friend zone. I think every guy has been finessed by a woman, and it's good.
Speak for yourself, you struggle motherfuckers, man.
Because it teaches you, because like when men, guys have to like get their, what I've noticed with men, especially from coaching thousands of men, I'll tell them, yo, don't do this. They'll still do it anyway, and then they'll come back to me and say, damn, you were right. And then it makes that learning lesson much more potent because now they felt the burn and they're like, all right, I can, you warned me and I felt it. It's one thing for you to tell them. It's another thing for them to find out as well. And it makes it that much stronger. So a lot of guys, they got to get burned by women. Very few guys like can learn from others and not make that mistake versus most guys have to make that mistake to learn for real a lot of the times, unfortunately.
Do you think that it's best that guys get burned early? Because it seems like once guys get resources and get money, that it really becomes an issue.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if they learned the lesson.
I think early. Once you get money and resources, then she's playing for keeps. Like this girl right now going after Shannon Sharp, she's playing for keeps. So it's like, and they have an incentive to do so. When you're broke and you're a nobody, like, are they incentivized to go after you as hard? Probably not. Then maybe they'll embarrass you in the neighborhood. Oh yeah, weirdo, blah, blah, blah. That's cool. You can move and be fine. But when you got some money and your resources, and this is why it's so bad for young guys. Oh, dude. The young guys that like aren't red pill aware and get some money and status, they get cooked the worst. It's better for you to almost like be broke, make these mistakes as you're coming up, then get.
These guys got to stop saying red pill aware. They got to stop saying this, because what red pill aware means, it means jaded and seeing the world through the lens of a pathetic dweeb online. You got to stop doing that. Like, folks grow up with a level of awareness and a level of social ability and awareness. Yeah, y'all are so socially inept. That's what it comes down to. They're speaking to these losers on the internet. The regular folks, the average black man, is not as socially inept as the people that love to be up on these sites. They love to be up in these conversations, crying about the same thing 24/7. How many times are y'all going to have the same comments, the same conversation about black women? Oh, rich NBA players, these people desire others. How many times? What is the result y'all are seeking?
Get the money, understand women, and then you're in a much more, you're in a much better position, because then you can mitigate the risk, or you already know how to deal with certain women off of how they come at you. You're like, oh yeah, this girl's a thought, I gotta deal with her.
Yeah, some lived experience, friends, some social group. Like, this is just all weird to me. Like, how do folks get to their grown ass age and they're not aware of certain things? Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
Donations.
Is this a typo? I'm struggling to read this right now. Imagine getting couches by a white boy lover who says, I guess he meant coached. Imagine getting coached. Let me autocorrect that and see if that works. Imagine getting coached by a white boy lover who says men should just date men and keeps an Instagram thought that ain't even attractive on retainer. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Yo. Yo. Damn. Shout out to John with the $5.
Or this way, okay, this girl, I could maybe let her in a little bit, but like you get that wisdom from failing, and you got to fail it. You almost got to fail when you're broke, because you kind of see how you see the real side of females. Like when you don't have all your stuff together, you don't have money like that yet. You really get to see like the dark side of hypergamy, and I think men need to be exposed to that to see how callous and how cold women can really be when they're not interested in you. Because I truly think like women are much more cold-blooded than men are, way more, especially when they're not interested. Their interest in men drop off precipitously way fast.
We don't care.
Let me tell you, we don't care. Crying to me, and I'm not having that.
Folks that subscribe to messages like this is why y'all are losing. This is why y'all are losing. Y'all waste so much time complaining, bitching, talking about, feeding into, giving your energy to women that don't give a fuck about you. That's why folks is losing. Why spend all your time making them the topic of conversation? Why not find the women that you're interested in, that you're compatible with, and deal with them? Why do you need a group of dumbass niggas online to tell you what you should not like in a woman and what you should like in a woman? This group hive mind thinking. It makes no sense.
They're more likely to end relationships. They're more likely to break your heart without you even knowing about it, because they broke up with you 6 months. They've already been plotting the breakup. So like with women, I think men need to experience that, because this kind of insulates you from making those mistakes later on when it's going to cost you significantly more money.
What do you say about the chat saying that you can't pull a black woman?
I would say, why would I? Why would I?
Now, I hope y'all understand the inconsistencies in the commentary that we're hearing. All women are the same. The software is the same. The hardware is different. All women are the same based on, they vary by certain cultural factors, financial factors, various other factors. But for some reason, black women, well, all women are the same. Black women, for some reason, are, why would I date them? Why are they on the menu? Me as a black man, why would I date a black woman?
You could have them, bro.
Why wouldn't you?
They could have them, man. I'm not competing for LaQuisha. You guys can have them, man.
Well, every black woman ain't LaQuisha. What you mean?
Look, I say that's look.
There's 4 black women on the panel. None of them has said a single word. All that shut up and listen to me shit that he wants from other races of women. Look at these women on the panel. As he denigrates black women, disrespects, and yeah, black women are, he brings black women down to their lowest stereotype, their most negative stereotype, and then watches a bunch of black women sit there and be like, well, we see that too in some black women, but yeah. And it's like, well, your point is kind of moot when you have all of these not doing anything.
I'm fucking around, but when they say dumb shit like that, oh, you can't pull a black woman, like that's just like cope a lot of the times, because they're saying what that really. Let me decode the stupidity for you. When people say dumb shit like that, translation: you're not willing to tolerate the bad behavior that naturally comes with a lot of black women. Because let's be honest, let's deal with the stereotypes here, right? I'm an open racist towards everybody. Let's deal with the black stereotypes. Black women are fat, loud, crass, annoying, have attitudes, and they don't respect male authority. There's a bunch of reasons for this, but I'll go over simply. The average black woman weighs 187 pounds. A lot of them are grow up in a single mother household where they're told every single day, niggas ain't shit. There is no patriarch in the family a lot of the times. This is just what goes on. Then when you listen to the rap music, what are they saying? Fuck niggas, get money, blah, blah, blah. It's just shitting on black men all day. And then the black men that are in their life a lot of the times, not every single time, but a lot of the times, they're criminals, they're fathers that weren't there, they're crooks, and it's just like a never-ending cycle where there's no real. And then the black men that are in their life a lot of the times, not every single time, but a lot of the times, they're criminals, they're fathers that weren't there, they're crooks, and it's just like a never-ending cycle where there's no real pay are in their life a lot of the times, not every single time, but a lot of the times, they're criminals, they're fathers that weren't there, they're crooks, and it's just like a never-ending cycle where there's no real patriarch in the household. And then on top of that, you know, we since women, a lot of black women grow up.
So if the black men are criminals, crooks, negligent, why are the black women the only ones that are getting cast aspersions on? Why are they undateable? Okay, you know what? Let them
like
cook.
a never-ending cycle
right?
where there's no real patriarch in the household. And then on top of that, you know, we since women, a lot of black women grow up without men in the house, they end up becoming extremely masculine. Now, this is fantastic when it comes to survival, getting a job, making your way through life, but this is terrible when it comes to attracting masculine men. Masculine men don't want masculine women in return. That would make you probably more than likely gay if you're attracted to yourself, right? And I always use the analogy because whenever
that would also make you gay if you're attracted to the white men that you sleep topless in the bed with, buddy.
Don't say this to me.
It could also make you gay to be kissing up with the same openly gay white men in various photos, buddy.
No, this nigga gay as hell.
Yeah, buddy.
That's your lane, Molly.
Because here's the thing with black women, right? They'll sit there and they'll say, oh, you can't handle me. And I'll say, why the fuck should I? Because let me tell you this. If you went up to a black woman and you said, hey, look, I like to wear heels on Saturdays, she'll be like, ew, what the fuck? She'd curve you. Rightfully so. That's weird. But why is it that we're supposed to accept masculine black women when they would never accept feminine black men? They never would.
Understand the way he described black women, and most black women are this. He didn't even say most. He just said black women. He generalized without saying the all, just pretty much generalized. None of these women fit the mold of what he's describing, not even physically. So it's like, all right, buddy.
So why the hell should I accept a woman that behaves like a man when she would never accept me for behaving like a woman? And this is the insane double standard where they'll sit there and say, you need to accept me the way that I come, but women never accept us the way that we come. We have to self-improve. Why don't they have to self-improve? So when they say dumb shit like that, saying, oh, you can't handle a black.
All right, so we got a Myron groupie in here.
Oh, yes. The camera loves your nastiness.
All right, so when you take relationship advice from a gay man, sir, I'll wait. You're going to take relationship advice and you're going to get a characterization of women from a gay man. Is that what you're going to do? A man who showed more affection for men on camera in various instances more than his beard of a woman? That's what you doing, buddy? Is that what we're doing?
You up here trying to get people thick?
He said yes. He said yes. Are you kidding me? So that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to get advice from a gay man. All right, buddy. So go sign up to Destiny's channel.
God damn.
Like what are we doing out here? And then you want to come in my chat section and debate what I'm saying about this zesty man right here?
Women, or why don't you date them? What that really means is, why are you not dealing with the stereotypical, loud, obnoxious, crass, rude black woman? And I'm saying no, because I don't want to date myself. So if I've dated black women before that are polite, feminine, not fat, respectful, speak proper English, you know, they say ask instead of ax, like all these things. And that's what I like. So if I'm going to be around that, great. I don't really care about skin color like that. I have a preference.
You don't really care about skin color like that. Yo, if you don't get this fugazi fuck shit out of here, stand on your shit chest out, nigga. If you're gonna do something and that's what you are and that's what you stand on that. What is this flaky bullshit ass not keeping it all the way 100? Oh, I don't really care about color. You just said you would not date a black woman. Why wouldn't you? And then you lowered black women to their lowest stereotype and said, yep, this is all of them. And it's majority. When people say majority, who's dating majority of women anyway? You're basically trying to say that there is not women, there's no women, or there's not even a population that's even available at all that fits a dateable standard that are black. You just lowered them to the hood, ghetto, ratchet, dusty, fat. They're all that. But are white women all Karens? Are all white women racist? Karens calling 5-year-old black boys nigger? Is that what's happening? Is that all white women? Are all white women going to sue you for $50 million? Are all white women out for your bag? Are all white women basic struggle Beckys that are out to destroy your family lineage by taking all your money, putting you in harm's way of potential jail? Is that what all white women are? Are we lowering folks down to their lowest disgusting stereotype?
It just so happens that a lot of the times black women don't adhere to these preferences because they're indoctrinated to have this mindset of, let me challenge a man, let me be rambunctious, let me go ahead and chase a career and basically be the man that I want to get. And I'm not with that.
That's fair.
How do you feel about that, Kim?
Listen, I'm going to do this because this is local in my city. I'm in Toronto. I'm from Malvern, from the hood in Malvern, cross tracks. If you're in Malvern and you don't want to date no Malvern hood women, you don't want no hood girls in Malvern, and you want to date some black women that aren't from the hood, you can take your dusty ass to richer, more affluent neighborhoods in Toronto, the High Parks of the world. You can take yourself to the surrounding cities, the greater Toronto area. You can take yourself to Mississauga, to Ajax, to Richmond Hill, to more suburban places where you're having more wholesome families that are raising these black women. All this bullshit ass excuse for the internet and the hype, they just want to disrespect black women and act like there's no dateable suitors out there because they're being unaccountable for their lack of dating options. You heard this motherfucker, Q Diddy, out here talking about he was getting used by women and X, Y, and Z. It's like we don't want these folks speaking for relationships. They never speak about the positives of relationships. Anton's been married for how long? Rita seems like she fits the mold of everything that these folks want in a woman when it comes to her treatment, her activity, her intangibles. But he doesn't sing the praise of Rita and other black women that fit that mold. Because this is more lucrative. This does more views. There's more folks that are hurt by black women that love this message. that love to subscribe to it and listen to the same shit every day.
I agree with a lot of what he said. I've said before, I don't think that, just in general, we'll even speak on black women because that's who he's talking about. I don't think that black women are taught to be wives. Whereas, you know, this black woman, if she's going to college to get her degree, these white girls were taught to be wives. They were taught to look for a man to take care of them. They were taught to look for husbands. They're going to college to look for a husband. They're going to be more submissive. They're going to be more passive because they're playing the long game.
And you want to hear something crazy too? You know what's funny? The white girls be the biggest hoes. I'd be warning people with these college education.
The white girls be the biggest hoes. But we're going to divest from our black women for the biggest hoes. All right, Myron. I'm going to let him explain so he can make it make sense. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
Donations.
Dude, what the hell's going on? This applause won't stop. Holy shit. Shout out to John. That applause did not... The stream deck froze on the applause. I don't know what's going on. John says, this goofy Woodcrest got Drake as his pro. Bet he 38 wishing he had the bag to get finished by 19-year-old white girls. Jesus Christ. Shout out to John. Yeah, man, these guys in the chat, man, I don't know who these fresh and fit fans are, but
with white girls, like if they join a sorority and shit like that, I tell guys all the time, like, bro, you know, you also don't want to wife up a whore. So, like, you know, what ends up happening a lot of times with black women, because black women typically only want to be, black women are very narrow in what they like a lot of the times. They prefer black men overwhelmingly. But the problem on the black male side is black men will take whatever, right? So that's kind of the issue where you run into a problem with a lot of black women. Also, black women tend to favor looks a lot more than other races. Which is, I guess, maybe a masculine trait. But black women tend to be more interested in the way that they dress, the way they conduct themselves, you know, the way they look, etc. Like it's very interesting how I've noticed that with black women, they tend to be the race that is very interested in the way a man looks, which is fine. You can have your preferences, but what the problem with that is it dilutes the marketplace of men that you are going to open yourself up to. And when black women go to college and they educate.
What the hell was that?
all right, so we got a man in the chat arguing with other men about their opinions, focused on my platform in the direction that I'm going in, talking about you're too invested in other men while I'm making money and you're doing this for free. Come on, man. You can't. The short bus has arrived, man.
Educate themselves, etc. They kind of bring that percentage down even more so as they climb up the ranks. But like with white girls, you know, white girls are going to open yourself up to. And when black women go to college and they educate themselves, etc., they kind of bring that percentage down even more so as they climb up the ranks. But like with white girls, you know, you're right. They go to college. They're looking for a husband while they're there in school a lot of times, because a lot of times they don't even want to work their shitty ass, you know, HR job that they end up getting. But they end up being hoes a lot of the times, if we're going to be honest. So that's another thing that I tell guys to watch out for when it comes to the white girls, because every every group of women has their stereotypes that guys got to look out for.
If every group of women, this is why I'm saying this message is very inconsistent, because they always go back to women are the same. Every group of women has their stereotypes, their negatives, their X, Y, and Z. But for some reason, we are going to focus and shit on black women.
Carrie, what do you think? Carrie, what do you think about the narrative between black, white, cultural norms, black women?
See, this is the problem with you fucking Americans that annoys the shit out of me. It's always black and white. Y'all act like black and white are the only two damn races that exist, and that's the problem, because some places in your country, that is the two most and the only. You sprinkle a bit of those the Mexicans and the Spanish in there, and that's all y'all got. Well, I come from a very multicultural city, so when I hear this shit, I'm like, yo, this makes no damn sense to me. You're just cropping out everybody else, and I'm like, what about everybody else?
Not necessarily being taught to look for husbands, all of that type of stuff. What do you think about everything that's being communicated?
Then, bitch, nigga, why are you here? Yo, I hate niggas like this. Why are you here? I tell people damn near every episode that I'm Canadian, I'm from Toronto, X, Y, and Z, and you pussy ass niggas are still here complaining. Oh, we don't care about what Toronto niggas say. Then why the fuck you here, nigga? Exit. Take your bitch ass the fuck out.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
The fuck? Y'all are some next level short bus niggas. Like, I don't even understand y'all. Y'all are dumb as hell, man.
In a general sense.
I agree with a lot of what he just said. I don't know if it's that women are not necessarily being taught to be wives per se, as much as taught to be wives that men want. Because everybody is not taught to go be an independent woman void of a man. Like, some women are genuinely taught to go marry, but they're also taught to have a career at the same time. They're taught to have kids, but they're taught to go get an education. They're not taught to not be a wife, but they're also not necessarily taught to prioritize being a wife. They're not necessarily taught the characteristics that a husband that they want would actually be looking for.
So
because everybody doesn't come from a broken home either. I mean, I know a lot, we say that a lot, and I'm not downing the numbers on it, but everybody doesn't come from a broken home. A lot of people have a 2-parent example, but they might not necessarily know how to be the wife that they want the husband
it's not
for.
just a black issue. It's a whole U.S. issue. The nuclear family has been destroyed, and there's a bunch of reasons for that. You know, feminism, etc., has been, I think, one of the biggest problems when it comes to degradation of the nuclear family. But what I will say is, because you mentioned a good point, that women like
and the short bus. We got multiple short buses. We have they have a lot of folks in here. Once again, why are you here? You don't care about Canada. I'm a nigga in Canada. I'm speaking about relationships and black folks globally. Why are you here? You fucking idiot. You realize this? There's no logic to this. You're complaining about what a Canadian nigga says, but you're here to listen. Get the fuck out. Where's your logic, dumbass?
You know, they're told to go to school and pursue. And I would say, right, if someone wanted to lose weight, right, and they truly wanted to change their body, they would have to change everything about their lifestyle. They'd have to start going to sleep 8 to 10 hours a night. They'd have to prioritize going to the gym. They would have to change their entire lifestyle around to be able to achieve that goal.
And if these folks do not want to see Canadians, they don't want to, I don't want to hear anybody cheering for SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. I don't want to, take him off your MVP ballot if you're discriminating against Canadians. Keanu Reeves. You know the nigga in the Matrix? You know John Wick, Canadian. God damn. Can't watch those movies anymore, nigga. You don't subscribe to Canadian motherfuckers. No more Drake for y'all, but y'all don't listen to the pedo anyway. No more Tory Lanez for y'all, but that nigga locked up anyway. God damn. Who else we got here? We got Steve Nash. Y'all like Steve Nash, 2-time MVP. Kiefer Sutherland, you know that nigga that does 24, Jack Bauer? Come on, man. Y'all tripping out here. We got a deep roster out here, all up in America, stealing y'all money. All up in America, taking the good women.
Oh my God.
While y'all niggas complaining about the fat, overweight, dusty leftovers, we out here in them cheeks, bruh. Wait, bruh.
Stick together. Pause. Knows he can have it. Pause. You see what I do when I got the rock. Pause.
Let me just put this in real quick.
This is Daniel, by the way.
Brother,
Here's the problem. We tell women that they can kind of live their life the way that they want.
The weekend. I went to school with that nigga, never seen him a day in my life. I'm like, how did this happen?
And there's going to be a good man at the end waiting for them. And the problem is, if you want a guy to take care of you, well, then you need to be in a position where you're prioritizing finding that guy. Because the days of, and this is kind of the conundrum of feminism, right? So what feminism effectively did was it gave women the autonomy to pursue a career, make their own money, and become successful and be on their own. But what that also...
This guy is crying about women having jobs and careers and shit, and this is the man y'all listening to?
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
Donations.
John says, we will keep Keanu and Nash. You just take Drake and Bieber back. Nah, you ain't sending Bieber back after y'all disrespected Bieber and fondled him and had all sorts of y'all celebrities touching Bieber up. Y'all had Bieber getting SA'd on stage in public. Women grabbing Bieber's cheeks. Women forcibly kissing Bieber. Men copping feels on late night shows on Bieber. Bieber got SA'd and you can watch it on the internet. It's disgusting work what y'all Americans did to Bieber. Y'all, come on, man.
Did was it ostracizes the average man from the dating and relationship marketplace, because women will never admit this, but I'll say it for you guys. There's nothing worse for a woman than settling on a guy that she feels that she could do better than, right? And what ends up happening is with...
Oh, God, he's selling more despair. Women settling. Who cares, man? Who cares, man? Are you the guy she settled for and you're the guy that's in agony? Like, I hate these talking points. Who the fuck cares? Let's go to the chat because there's something good in here. Hold up, chat. Hold up. I seen something and I can't find it now. Yeah, what the fuck going on with me? All right, so... Y'all only lit because of Americans. All right, so, all right, man. All right, so... Let me pull something up. Do you see this? Do you see how racism works, bruh? Do you see how racism works? When folks get up in here and talk about the FBA and the American blacks and all this bullshit, hold up, chat. Y'all need to take this in. Y'all need to see how racism works. All right? So you got this woman. To put this in perspective, all right? She's a single mother of two. She's an ex-corn star, all right? According to my research manager, I need to double check that, but according to my research manager, she's an ex-corn star. She's a single parent, child of two. I'm going to have to double check that and verify that, but this is according to my research manager, all right? She calls a black boy the N-word. She gets $700,000 raised for her. The black boy was not foundational black American. He was in America, but that was a Somalian black boy. Whether it be Somalian, Jamaican, Guyanese, Ghanaian, Malagasy, from Papua New Guinea, it don't matter. Black is black. Still nigga to them. Still nigga. So when y'all do that divisive fuckery, y'all been hijacked by the Trump administration. Let me say it again.
Survey said
the Trump administration. Them niggas is on some divisive fuckery.
They don't want to hear Jamaican. Don't want to hear Guyanese. They don't want to hear a black guy.
A lot of average men, 5'8", making 30 to 50K per year. A lot of women see better than that in America. Even average looking women feel that they could do better than that, right? There's nothing worse than an average guy to a majority of women. So what women do is they'll go to school, they'll pursue an education, they'll become successful. And what they're hoping is that there's going to be a guy more successful, more attractive, more ambitious than her at the end of that road. But what she's effectively done, because she's become average herself or better than average, is she's just now ostracized a majority of men that would have been a great candidate for her before. But feminism has made it where women are told not to settle, become independent. But you got to ask yourself, who are they independent of? They're independent of men. We don't walk around and say, oh, we're strong and independent. You guys will laugh at us like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all niggas? But we run around and we praise women for being independent all the time.
Myron. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna just let it play.
But we don't ask ourselves independent of who? It's of men. Of which men in particular? The majority, aka the average man. Most women are chasing the same small 10 percentile of guy. 6 foot plus, 100K per year, good career, charming, love dogs, asshole, but at the same time, you know, a nice guy. Like, they're looking for something that's very difficult to find in one guy. So when you made the topic like, hey, women are told to go.
I know you speak factually. I'm just trying to cover myself, you know, because people make mistakes. I got to cover myself. I'm on air. I got to live with this. All right, so
Get their money, but at the same time also kind of be a wife. The problem is that for the caliber of guy that they're looking for, right? Ironically enough,
to be honest, Myron is like a coach who lost the locker room. He's like the coach that repeats himself ad nauseum, and the players have they're like, man, fuck it, we checked out. We've heard this message 10,000 times. 10,000 times on your show, the same message. He even words it in a similar way. He's like Dr. Umar Johnson. I don't even, it's ridiculous.
They need to prioritize finding a husband, but the problem is that they're pursuing a career so much that they don't have the time and a lot of the times interest to even pursue this guy. And this is another controversial take, and I'll say this real quick, and I'd love to get the ladies' take on this. I say all the time, women lack empathy, okay? They have sympathy, but they don't have empathy, and I'll explain what I mean by this. So men, we understand innately that we need to go out there and improve ourselves, make money, get some status, etc., so that we could be a catch. We understand that we're a bum working at McDonald's. We ain't getting no.
Yo, why the fuck is there a movement with all sorts of women in the gym competing to get those booties bigger?
Booty clap yourself. Oh my God.
Why are they doing that? Shouldn't we just take them as they are? Why are they in the gym? Why is there there's significantly more women with small stomachs, flat stomachs, and fat asses. Oh yeah, I forgot y'all live in America. The struggle out there. The struggle, I forgot. I'm out here in Canada. I'm out here in Toronto, so things are different. My existence is different. I forgot. I gotta adjust for America. Yeah, y'all tell me all the girls are fat, overweight, dusty, rude attitudes. Yeah, gotta adjust for America. Let me stand down.
We accept this reality. Women, though, however, I notice don't understand this. I'll give you an example. A girl will open up an Instagram, have pictures of herself all over the internet being a thought. She'll go pursue a career. She'll do a bunch of twerking stuff on the internet. She'll wear weird weaves. She'll do all this kind of crazy stuff, right? And what'll happen is she'll do all this not knowing.
This nigga changed the camera angle. That's why I went black, and he does this thing on it. He switched the camera angle. Some nasty work, man.
That like men, though they might look at you from an attraction standpoint, they're not actually wanting to take you seriously. And this is what I mean when I say women lack empathy. They kind of know what men like, but they don't know what men are actually attracted to and want to commit to. And that's where the disconnect happens. So what ends up happening is they get with a guy, they know how to kind of get the guy just by existing, but it's very difficult for them to keep the guy. And this comes from this lack of training where women are prioritizing career and not just attracting the guy, but keeping him long term. And this is where so many women fail, because any girl can get a guy. That's not the hard part. The hard part is, can you get a guy that you actually like and get him to commit?
Do you know what's funny? Do you know how I know this shit is bullshit? When I hear all the complaints and they're like, oh, you're in Canada, it's different. You're in Toronto, it's different. I know niggas in Toronto that literally have the same message as Myron. There's red pill content creators in my city. There's niggas in the chat room that complain about the same thing. They say it's a Western problem. It's here too. The same type of complaints. And I walk outside and it's a different existence. And then you start to realize that it's a specific existence for a specific existence. What the hell am I saying? Now I'm in word salad mode. It's an existence that is specific to a certain subsect of dweebs. Of absolute dweebs. I'm going to say it and I'm going to say it again. Actually, I'm not going to do that. I'm not Umar. Nonetheless, it's dweebs. It's y'all existence. And y'all are trying to propagate y'all existence on the average man. And there's a lot of motherfuckers on the internet that can get into an echo chamber and feel like, yeah, this is everybody, because everybody that has the same commonality is in the room reiterating the same message of despair. But that's not the reality for a bunch of other folks.
It's you. And this is where women fail, because they lack empathy. And what I mean by empathy is they don't understand men. We have to understand women to attract them. Women don't have to understand us to attract us, because all y'all got to do is be available, look kind of hot, and we'll come talk to you. Like, and we have to do all the work in the beginning. Well, but where women fail is they don't do the work after the guy puts in the work to attract her to retain that guy.
So he's saying these things as he generalizes women. So do white women, do they have empathy? Do they do all the things that you're saying that women in general lack? Because this is about why black men that are rich and famous choose white women. I'm still not hearing the argument for white women. I hear the argument against black women, but I don't hear the argument for white women. He said most white women are hoes at the time in college and university. So I'm like, okay, where's the saving grace? Where's the winning argument here?
That's where a lot of women make the mistake and aren't really able to keep the things. And this is why I'm saying, like, the education system and us women prioritizing their success has overrode their ability to retain men, if that makes sense.
What do you think about that, Mika and Molly?
Donations. That's facts. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat. John says, niggas forget that Hank Pearly Davis was in the UK enslaving them black dudes into the red pill. Bruvs like King Riches, what that dude up to? I don't know, man. I have no idea where that nigga is. He's probably in the Dustlands, man. Pearl got back her monetization. I'm not interested in covering anything over there. I don't know what that bitch is doing. Yeah, fuck Pearl, man.
I'm getting
Once again, shout out to John with the $5 super chat. Shout out to John. Let's get it.
Oh no, he's 100% correct. I mean, that's exactly what my father always taught me. So he's absolutely correct. And then, you know, the women, anytime, and we've talked about this tons of times on this panel, anytime the women are, you know, how in a belief mindset that, you know, I have, they'll call it pick me, they'll call it
I find it funny because she said he's absolutely right. That's what her father taught her. So her father taught her everything that goes against everything that Myron says, but Myron is absolutely right because I think Mika has a greater perception or perspective of herself and her upbringing and a lower perspective of the community. So she sees all the negative ails of the community for the community, but she sees her. I don't know. That's a common thing with certain folks. But let's get back into it.
you're trying to, you know, follow the man and everything. And if you say yes, because that's literally what I was taught, then it's, you know, okay, well, it's always something bad. It's always something downtrodden. And he's gonna leave. What if he leaves? What if he does this? What if he does that? It's never looking at it from the standpoint of trying to have a family unit. Everything is a risk, right? But it seems like in today's society with feminism, if you prioritize this, then if this happens, at least you have a job, at least you have a degree, at least you have, you know, money. It's not prioritized as it may be a risk, but at the end of the day, you may have a family.
And here's the other thing too. I really want to bring to light what you just said, because what you just said is extremely important with the concept of calling women pick-me's, right? This is a very pernicious cycle that I've noticed in modern women where
we know why women call other women pick-me's. They call other women pick-me's because they're trying to keep the bar low. They trying to keep the bar low. And this is a thing, yo. We do this thing where we use the internet to be the standard for anything, but the internet's not reality. Folks do not navigate and communicate the same way in real life off the internet as they do online. You see the dumbest things being propagated online, and it's for financial gain. And to try to convince people that they're getting tricked all the time is damn near impossible. Folks just bite it up, and I'm just like, man, we do this. We're influencers. We know what will get views, and we know what to propagate.
Like what you just said, because what you just said is extremely important with the concept of calling women pick-me's, right? This is a very pernicious cycle that I've noticed in modern women, where they'll see women doing what's required to actually attract a man, like whether it's being super submissive, being super nice, listening to their man, dressing the way that their man wants, cooking for him or whatever. They're doing these like traditional roles.
Yep.
And I don't know what it is, but like women look at this and it's like their knee-jerk to reaction to say, oh, you're a pick-me.
Yep.
Oh, you're being caved in by your man. Like this girl right now.
Yep. See, he's right about this. He's right about this because this is a practice you see online where a bunch of dusty struggle women that can't keep up any type of standard will try to lower the standard with women that they're seeing that are upholding good values in their relationship because they can't hang on that level. So they disrespect it, they talk down on it, oh, you're X, Y, and Z, because they can't hang. So they're trying to bring down the total level of women and what women are willing to do so they don't have to actually do it because they're not capable. We see this online. He's right about this.
It's literally going viral. Emily Saves America. She's supposed to be a conservative, and she talks about, hey, well, you should probably still get a job. You should still get a hobby, blah, blah, blah. And that goes against conservatism, and that's why I say a lot of these women that are conservatives are really undercover feminists, because what they're doing is they're teaching women this pernicious cycle you just mentioned with this whole don't be a pick-me or whatever, because we have an entire society that tells women, hey, don't do anything for the express consent for a man. You need to put yourself first, not knowing that if you actually want to keep a guy first, you actually have to put yourself second. Your job is the aid, the assistant, the helpmate, because when a man is put forward, when we win, you win by extension. But if we put the woman forward and the woman wins, what ends up happening is the woman's like, I don't need this nigga. Like, his job is to provide it for me. I'm the one providing. This is why I tell guys all the time, you got to be the leader and the girl's got to like you more than you like her. Because since women are the ones used to being pursued, the only time they're going to respect the man is when they're finally pursuing, because they never do that. So that's how they're able to distinguish, do I got a winner or a loser? Am I following him or is he following me? Because this whole like, I'm going to build my wife up, I'm going to move for her and her career. I tell guys, never do that. Because when you do that, what you've inadvertently done is you've given her the frame and the leadership role in the relationship. And the women will sit there and say, I want to be equal partners.
I'm sorry, I got lost for a second. I thought we were talking about pick-me's. Where did we get on? How did we get here?
What I've realized is their actions never actually reflect that. They want you to be the leader. They want you to dictate the terms. And the biggest way for that to happen is by her kind of submitting to and having this pick-me thing that a lot of women use. But whenever I see women say, put it this way, ladies, if girls are calling you a pick-me, you're doing something very right. Do not listen to the feminist propaganda that.
Okay, see, this is being disingenuous, because sometimes when a woman will call other women pick me online and try to campaign against women that are doing good things, it's because they don't want to keep the standard. Other times, women are legitly being pick-me's and they're saying things that men want to hear for financial gain. We seen Pearl do this shit, where she was trying to make arguments against herself as a woman, and we're like, this shit don't make no goddamn sense. You're trying to be an ultra pick-me and you still can't get them cheeks clapped. Who else? Melanie King did the same thing, ultra pick-me, saying some bullshit ass rhetoric to appease men. Like there's both sides to it.
It tries to almost like you know when men insult each other and emasculate each other, like when women tell each other that, oh, you're a pick-me or you're an idiot for following a man or you're stupid or you could do better. That's all shaming language to keep you from having a man. One of the biggest things, and I'll end with this.
Someone said Pearl has a dude. Man, I don't keep up with Pearl anymore. I don't know what the hell's going on in Pearl's life. Maybe she has a dude, maybe she doesn't. I don't know, man. I don't care.
This guy, his name is something Desire. Oh my God, I can't remember now sorry guys, I've been streaming for like 8 hours. Long story short, the truth Desire, something like that. He interviewed a divorce attorney, is the main bottom line here. And he asked the divorce attorney, she's a female divorce attorney, hey, who initiates most of the divorces and why? And she said something that I've been saying for years.
Donations.
Myron's about to get into the repetitive bag of commentary that he's given 10,000 times on Fresh and Fit. Let's get into this super chat, then we'll get into that. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat. John says, traditional women don't pick losers like Myron. They pick traditional men, and being traditional is not what most modern men and women are. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
Years, and I thought it was awesome because it finally vindicated me. She said the women initiate the divorces, and a big reason why they do it is because they get talking to their girlfriends, and their girlfriends put shit in their ear. And it's back to that cycle you just mentioned with pick me, you do everything for him, blah, 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 all this other stuff. And women will see other girls happy with a guy in a good relationship, and they'll try to ruin that and be like, why are you with him? You can do better. Oh, he has sim. Oh, look, he's controlling. He's XYZ. When in reality, he's everything that she wants. But since they're not happy and they don't got what they want, because it's so much harder to find a mate for women, they'll sit there and try to tear her shit down. And that's like one of the, I tell girls, if you have a relationship, get rid of all your single friends. They're going to lead you astray.
Let me ask you, go ahead, Molly.
No, I was just going to ask, well, because I know Mika brought up the topic of being called a pick-me. What do you do as a woman by men for supporting men? Because I don't think that gets brought up.
Yeah, I think you should roast them and say,
no, what she's talking about is the same folks that we brought up, the Pearls of the world, the Melanie Kings, the folks that use it for financial gain. It's like, you know what you're doing. You're just trying to appease the same men that are hurt that are in these comment sections. So you're saying things that men want to hear, but are any women actually enacting the things that you're saying? No. Are you enacting any of the things you're saying? No. That's when the pick-me shit becomes egregious, and we're like, yeah, nah, we don't want to hear that from you.
You should be honored that I'm even doing this, you dumbass. Like, I would literally tell, like, any guy that tries to shame you for actually being a woman. Like,
there's men in the chat that'll say it, especially if I support Anton. Ugh, they hate that.
Yeah.
It's because Anton is a sellout coon, and we've been down this road before. That's why. That's why folks see it and they're like, you're supporting the coon. The guy that he'll bring up a whole bunch of folks just to sell them out.
These guys are simps a lot of the times, like, because they don't understand. Because it's so, for a lot of guys, right? Them seeing a naturally submissive woman is like crazy to them, because a lot of women aren't anymore. Like, the average woman is, I'm independent, I'm strong, I could do everything a man could do. So when a lot of these guys that are younger, that are not used to seeing a naturally feminine woman, they'll see it and they're like, what is this? This is weird. Like, she's listening to a man. This is a foreign concept. Like, the whole concept.
What the hell is this guy talking about? Does he leave his crib?
The male authority has been killed over the past 30 to 40 years. So, like, younger guys, right, or simps, they don't understand that this is how women are actually supposed to behave. But since we've been indoctrinated with feminism so much and it's so ubiquitous in our society, guys don't even know how to respond to that. So, like, when guys are saying, oh, you're a pick-me, tell them, you're a bitch-ass nigga, just straight up like that. That's what I would say.
No, he's right, because he's right, because they do that a lot of the times, and they'll even do that if you just give your honest thoughts and opinions. And a person like me, where I grew up where everybody is a housewife, everybody, they'll be like, oh, well, that's not the norm, that's not natural, that's not this, you must be a chameleon, you must be this. And so I see it just like Molly said, on the female side and the male side. But I think it's feminism that has gone both ways. Like, there are a lot of men that do, intertwine with feminism, even though they don't really say it.
So there's two. So the thing I think that's important is, like, to kind of understand that, to make this make more sense. The two genders are calling you a pick-me for different reasons. Right. So the women are calling you a pick-me so that you no longer become a qualified potential to a man of status, because men of status are screening for that, right? Women sabotage each other all the time.
There's a part of this that he's right about. That part he's right about. I witnessed this. We all see this shit.
That's why they compete, because what I've noticed with women is, like, it's a battle of the cerebral, right, and the surreptitious. And what I mean by that is they'll try to one up you by, and I'm sure all you ladies can attest to what I'm about to say. They'll one up you by trying to dress better than you. They'll one up you by trying to be prettier than you. You guys are going out to a function. It's a competition with who could look better, right? It's all about, okay, I'm going to be the prettier one so that I can go ahead and get the higher status males. So if you exude personality traits that higher status men look for, they're going to call you a pick-me to disqualify you from the mating process. And it's a very evil thing that women do surreptitiously, of course, because women battle in the cerebral, right? Now, when men call you a pick-me,
it's just like when men call other men simps because they're getting all the women. Oh, he's a simp. Why is he so nice to women? And it's like, well, the women are nice to me. They like me. They love me. I love them back. I don't know what the problem is, bruh. Oh, you're a simp. It's like, yeah, because you jealous, you ain't getting the... Oh, my God. So there's that part. So we see it on the inverse as well.
One of two things. It's either they're a simp and just don't, they're a simp and they're used to, like, women that are more masculine and they're not used to seeing that, so that's how they respond. Or B, they're just retarded and they haven't seen that type of woman because they might be young, they're not familiar with this. Because feminine women is like rare to come by nowadays. Very difficult to find.
I think feminine women are hard to find for feminine men and internet dweebs. I think that's where it becomes a very difficult practice to find feminine women, but nope. Incorrect, buddy. Incorrect.
Survey said.
So that's what I've realized the two genders do it. Men do it from a position of stupidity and naivety. Women do it from a...
Listen, a lot of these feminine men can't even identify a feminine woman. They're sitting there waiting to be approached by a woman, Austin Holloman style, and then complaining that there's no feminine women. But you're sitting there waiting to be approached by a masculine chick. Like, y'all, some niggas is stupid. And it's like you can't help these motherfuckers.
More vicious perspective.
Oh shit, headphones died.
Again!
Hold up, chat. These AirPods, man. One of these ones don't charge properly. All right, let me do a quick testing. I have to hit a drop to test. Okay, there we go. We good.
Of trying to disqualify you from potentially higher status men that are literally screening for women that are compliant and submissive. Because hypermasculine men are very, how do I say this? They're very privy to women that are feminine, because that is their opposite. That's what they're looking for. Just like women are hyper attracted to dominant, assertive, masculine men, men are very attracted to feminine, compliant women. And when women see you behave this way, and they know deep down, it's almost like a defense mechanism. When they see you behave this way, that's their way of getting you to not be qualifiable to a higher status guy that's screening for that very femininity you're displaying.
Let me ask you.
When I learned about the,
go ahead, Carrie. Go ahead, Carrie.
No, I was just gonna say, when I learned about what a pick-me was, because I didn't learn about it until Clubhouse came out and somebody called me that. I didn't even know to be offended. And once they explained to me what it was, I leaned into it. Because I was like, well, isn't the goal to be picked? And I got picked, so I'm cool with it.
And the other thing too, it's such a foreign, especially in the black community, right? Don't want to make this a racial thing, but it does matter to a degree. In the black community, coming across feminine women that are actually black as well, it's like a novelty almost. Like, it's not common, because so many black women are kind of like taught to be independent of men, don't rely on a man or whatever, just from like, you know, the culture and everything else like that. So when they do see a black woman that's submissive and feminine or whatever, it's like almost a culture shock to them. And then, like you said, you're taken, you found a man. So boom, clearly it worked. Other people are going to try to sabotage you, but I look at it like a woman's biggest W isn't her title. It's, do you have a man?
Now, he's on a panel with 4 black women saying it's very rare to come across a feminine black woman. Would you describe these women on the panel as masculine black women? Myron? Someone should ask them that question.
And that is committed to you, and do you have a family? I think that's the biggest W for a woman. I put more value on a housewife than a career woman every single day. And I think we need to go back in a society where we prioritize and respect the women and cherish and protect the women that want to be mothers, not the women that want to be career, you know, whatever. And
now, what Myron doesn't understand is that most men are not high value, earn enough for the whole family, successful, rich, famous. That's not the existence for most men. Most men are average earners that are going to need another income to help pay that mortgage, help pay for the kids' college and university, help maintain what we're building out here. Like, regular dudes. What are you talking about, bro? Not everyone's an entertainer, a public figure, getting super chats, cash apps, PayPals. Like, not everybody's out here like that.
And here's my other thing, right? Because everyone says, oh, Myron, you're just anti-feminist. You hate working women. This is my thing. If women want to work, fine. I don't really have a problem with that. They want to enter education, cool. But we need to be honest with them and tell them this whole cold, hard reality, right? And I'm going to tell my daughter this too. One day. If you decide to pursue a career and acquire status and excellence and resources, you are dwindling the potential pool of men that will want you. And not only are you dwindling them, you are making them less likely to want to be with you because they don't want to date themselves. So
be welfare queens? What are you talking about?
I always say when women become successful, doors close. When men become successful, doors open. So I would tell her to go into education and getting a job with her eyes wide open. I'll say, look, you go to school, but start looking for a husband while you're there.
Oh, he's just copying Kevin Samuel's message. Okay. We've heard this so many times.
I had a very tough talk with my sister a couple of years ago, and I'll never forget this. She was about 27, studying to be a doctor. She was about to go into med school, and, I knew kind of what was going from there. And I'll never forget this. We're in Brooklyn, we're sitting there, and I'm parking her car, parallel parking, and we're having a discussion. And I looked at her, I said, don't be a stupid bitch. Find a man now while you can. It's going to be harder for you when you become a doctor. Find a guy now. You're in school, maybe in med school. Find a guy now. As you get older, you won't be able to do this. And she got mad at me, and she looked at me like, oh, you're such a misogynist, you're such a chauvinist. But she took my advice, and she found a guy, and she got married to a guy that's an anesthesiologist, and she's doing her residency right now. But I warned her about this years before she got into her 30s to set herself up to understand, maybe I need to start looking for a man too and not just focus on the books. And she found one. I'm happy. But I had to tell her she was a stupid bitch for her to wake up and realize, damn, this is do or die if I don't figure this out. I had to break through that loop, because people tell women all the time, when are you going to have a family? Have some kids. I had to break through that loop and say, you're a dumb bitch. Find a guy now. You are not going to be able to find one when you become a doctor. You're cooked once you become a doctor.
Let me ask you one more question. First of all, let me give you your flowers, because I appreciate you even coming here.
Bro, thank you for showing love on my stream, bro. I didn't forget that, so I had to come in. Thank you.
No, I think that we, over time, you just grow. I've grown personally myself and matured in a lot of ways to where I realize that I can't let other people put batteries in my back to ultimately feel some type of way about people that I've never even met before. So I had to go and check myself, and then also observe some of your content, in which I've learned a lot about you. And one of the things that I've learned about you, and I've actually given you a lot of props for it in your platform, is that you spend a lot of times, I know a lot of people spend a lot of time talking about your take on women and things like that. But one of the things that you guys don't get a lot of credit for is all of the game that you give and all of the encouragement that you give to a lot of guys on finances, resources, leveling up, fitness, all of these things. So first of all, I want to give you your flowers for that, because I think that a lot of times we don't give people their flowers in real time. And people are so quick to react to things that they think is salacious instead of observing a whole picture. And so, first of all, I want to give you your flowers from that.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. And we need you in Miami to do a show, bro. When you get it, whenever you're down here.
Absolutely, 100%. The second thing that I want to ask you is just a personal question about you. Personally. Sure. Do you ever plan on getting married? And if so, what would that look like?
Fantastic question. I get this often. It's so the way I'm going to do it is going to be a bit unorthodox, but I think number one, the nuclear family I think is the backbone of any society. We need it. It's very important. I think the destruction of nuclear families what set blacks back a lot, because during the civil rights era, we had more families and we're more successful.
Why does he keep doing this? Like, you don't identify with black Americans at all. So why are you trying to do that when you get to Anton's show? You always shit on black Americans, black men and women. So now you're trying to identify with them. What part of the game is this?
Despite the fact that we had the most segregation, the most racism, and the most oppression, right? So that goes to show how powerful the nuclear family is. Number two, when I do decide to get married, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to involve the state. And the reason why I would get married is solely for kids, to create that environment where, the child is like, oh, mom and dad are together, and they're, they have a conventional relationship to a degree where there's a marriage. I just wouldn't do it with the state, because I do think marriage is important for a family. But just the way we go about it today is extremely dangerous and, problematic for men, because we put so much on the line. And women literally are incentivized to divorce us, especially if you got some money.
That's fair. Does anybody else have any comments or questions for Myron before we go ahead and wrap up the show?
And I didn't mean to come in here and take all the thunder, guys, man.
No. I like to extend the platform. We on here regularly. So the people that you see here right now, it's not uncommon for us to be here on a regular basis. But
okay.
I always like to give the floor, you know what I'm saying, to you, and then we chime in because, it's not a normal thing that we get somebody in here to where we actually respect enough to actually, you know what I'm saying, hear them cook and let them get here.
And I do want to give
Shout out to Random University with the $2 super chat.
Donations.
Random University says, I think Anton is officially one of the good ones. Shout out to Random University. Y'all go make sure you subscribe to Random University. Random University's been putting out a lot of content. Shout out to Random University. Let's get it.
Ladies on the panel, a degree, like a huge amount of support and love, because like usually when I say these talking points.
Yo, Random University, hold up. I seen one of your titles, but I didn't get to click on the video. Who did you have winning? Did you have the gorilla winning, or did you have the 100 men? Because I'm here to tell y'all right now, we packing out that gorilla. We mopping that gorilla. 100 men, we fucking up that gorilla, bruh. That gorilla has no chance with its no endurance having ass. Bruh, I'm gonna do a medical breakdown on that. Who do you got? I'll pull up the comment. Who did you get, the men or do you get the gorilla? Who do you got winning? I want to know who. All right, y'all put a 1 in the chat if you got the men winning. Put a 2 in the chat if you got the gorilla winning. I want to know what y'all think. Random University in specific, because I didn't get to see the video. I'm gonna go see your video after your breakdown and see what you say. But who do you got, man? Who do we got? See chat. Oh, Alicia got the gorilla. God damn. Gorilla all day. Y'all niggas is weak as hell, man. Y'all niggas is weak as hell. Yeah, Random, you made 2 videos. Okay, I gotta see those, man. Now, Random University, you know you got set up, right? Random University says he'll take man if I get to choose the men.
Stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Pause.
Without context, bro. Without context.
Stick together.
No, I'm fucking around. But yeah, if you got to choose the men, 100% choose the man. Because if you didn't get to choose the men and they brought a bunch of spineless like, come on, man. Some spineless weaklings, you get fucked up, man. That gorilla's taking them out. But, yeah, man. A gorilla definitely. Do you know how much 100 people is to fight? 100 at one time? Do you know how much motherfuckers that is? That's a lot of motherfuckers.
It's a lot of women like, oh my God, this guy is crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I've noticed.
Yeah, see, some folks got to be willing to die. Some folks got to be willing to die as the frontliners. See, if we're going to do this, we can easily grab a football team. We can easily grab a bunch of offensive linemen, a bunch of defensive linemen. They'll be like the front, the people in the front lines to tire out the gorilla before the jiu-jitsu fighters come in and start breaking limbs and choking his bitch ass out. Like, we're stomping that gorilla out. Like, I'm part of that 100, but I'm going to be in the back line or the middle. I ain't going to be a front liner. Them niggas getting limbs torn off.
Just that you guys have actually been intently listening to everything I've been saying. And I do appreciate that, because most of them just get triggered and go off the rails. But for you guys allowing me to give my points and kind of expanding on it, it makes a lot more sense. When I say it originally, it's shocking. But then when I explain, hey, this is how I came to this conclusion, and people afford me that opportunity, a lot of times they end up agreeing with me.
Anton knows how to pick his women.
Well, I agree for some reasons. Words themselves are not like inherently offensive. Like, you're offended because you believe it to be true. So you can talk all you want about black women. If it doesn't apply to me, there's no reason for me to be offended. Right there.
She's like, man, please. You have this opinion, please. But what it does is when a man comes on to a platform full of black women and he wants to disparage the black women and they give him no reaction, no response, it literally shits on all the talking points. I thought black women were this. I thought they were emotional. I thought they were reactive. I thought they couldn't be, not disrespected, criticized. I thought they're all unaccountable. I thought they're the worst of the worst. But he comes to the show with them on the panel and they're just like, yeah, no, I can see what you're saying. I understand you, X, Y, and Z. And it's like, okay, so your points are not salient, valid points at all then, because you were generalizing black women, and what we're seeing out of these black women is the complete opposite. So, I haven't seen a lot of shit, man. I gotta see that too. I might have to do a reaction to that.
And then Quentin will tell you.
I wish black women had that mindset that you have. It's like they look at it as like, oh, you're making general statements. It doesn't apply to me. I'm high IQ enough to realize like you're not talking about me. So whatever.
But they're looking from the emotional standpoint.
No, but what you guys are ignoring is when people have to fight it back. When black women fight it back, when there's a whole manosphere, red pill space, with tens and 20s of different content creators repeating the same message, speaking down on black women, that affects black women's day-to-day in their life when that message becomes too widespread. It becomes too profound of a message. Too many people saying these things, negatively stereotyping women or black women. Do you think that doesn't affect their daily? Black men complained for the longest. That's why the manosphere and the red pill even began, because like black men and black men's image have been ran through the mud. We've been getting shitted on by all sorts of racist folks, and along with the women and blah, blah, blah. They said that. So Kevin Samuels was a person that came out and said that he needed to make a concerted effort to fix the black male image. Kevin Samuels said that, and a lot of folks were on board with Kevin Samuels because he had a way better message than Myron. My message was we actually have to be better. We can't just do that fugazi fuck shit and propagate a better image that we're not actually living up to. That was my message, but in all, Kevin Samuels pretty much agreed with that because we got to be better. So it wasn't just hyper-focused on the women. Kevin Samuels was focused on the black community. He was not cooning out for views, doing the same thing Myron is doing, the same thing Anton does from time to time.
Most women are emotional, but you can have enough logic to say, okay, well, he's not, it doesn't apply to me. And you can have enough logic to look outside of yourself and say, yeah, most do act like that. And then a lot of women act, like they're offended by vulgar language.
I think that a lot of people want people to push back for the sake of pushing back, but you can have a difference of opinion in somebody, but sometimes you align with what it is that they're saying. If you understand what they're saying and they make...
Think about it. There's a bunch of MAGA idiots that truly believe that America subsidizes Canada because dumbass Trump would say it enough in the media. You just repeat it ad nauseum, and people are like, you know what? And you hear people in street interviews repeating the same dumbass Trump points because they've heard it so many times. That's the power of the media sometimes. So if you have enough people up on these platforms shitting on black women, it will have a result and will have an effect in their reality if it becomes propagated that strong. Like, I don't even know how, or that strongly. I don't know why folks are acting like that is not a thing.
Valid points. It's not always necessary to push back just for the sake of pushing back. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand the whole, hey, you guys got to push back thing. I don't subscribe to that. I just think that when people are cooking, then you give them the floor and you let them do their thing. I don't understand that. So.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you guys an example, right? So I am very critical of, when it comes to politics, and I'd use this example just because it makes sense and it can kind of explain the difference. I'm very critical of Israel. I have made a lot of comments on the state. I have my political grievances, whatever.
You see this? You see Slimmy's face when he said that?
But I do have friends and colleagues that are hardcore Zionists. And though this should be a dividing line where we should never be talking to each other, we should literally hate each other, I do think it's important to, you don't have to be great friends with them, but I do think it's important to have people in your circle or your realm of influence that oppose your views, because it kind of keeps you sharp when you have a discussion with them. It keeps you on your P's and Q's. So I think not just from a networking perspective, but I think just being able to agree to disagree is a very adult thing to do that's kind of missing from society. So, yeah, it's something that's really important and many people have.
Well, listen, I appreciate you for coming through.
No, thank you for having me, bro.
It's been a great stream, and then to have you, top it off with your insight and information. Again, I don't think that people get enough credit, and I'm going to give you your flowers right now. I think that you dope, bro, and I absolutely love. I'm not even so much into the content. I know that there's an audience for, the conversations when it comes to relationships, but the stuff that I really value that you've been tapping into is the Fed React stuff.
Oh, thank you, bro.
Yeah, the Fed React stuff is really great. And the conversations that you have about leveling up and the different guests that you bring on that speak on money situations.
I mean, I see you putting people on with money and stuff like that too. And I think it's really important, right? Because a lot of guys in this space will just shit on women all day, right? Oh, women this, women that, blah, blah, blah. But like, they're not going to do what's required. So like for me, I looked at it like, okay, look, we got problems with dating. Yes. Feminism sucks. Yes. So what does that mean? You can't be an average guy anymore, as I was describing before. You got to be above average. You need to be in a position where you're a provider. My advice I always tell guys is, yo, make enough money to the point where if you have a woman, she can tell her boss at any time to fuck off. I don't even think she should work. But I do think, like, as a man, it's your duty to either A, your woman doesn't have to work, or B, if she does decide.
This is not the reality for the average man. Once again, this is stepping into high value man territory, entertainer, rich nigga, baller status. Like, not what are we talking about? I thought he said he gives advice for majority of the men. But it is what it is. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat. Did he just say my guy Trump? Hey, yo.
Donations.
John says, quit hating on my guy Trump before he buy the forest you call Canada. Come join us, LT. We on that baby oil biz. Yikes. Join us for that. Nah, man, I ain't even saying that.
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Nah, man. This is filthy work, John.
To work at any point, she could say F you to the boss and I don't need you. And I think that level of security is what every man kind of needs to strive to have for their girl. I'm against women entering the workforce, I think, especially when they have kids. But if y'all both don't have kids, she wants to work, make some money on the side, she wants to not be, have a hobby, whatever, that's cool. But I think she should still have the wiggle room to tell her boss to F off whenever she wants. I think that's your duty as a man.
Facts.
I agree.
And that's why you got to teach them how to make money. So I definitely see you doing that as well for the guys and not just making a red pill echo chamber. Rather, let me help y'all make money so you guys can be in a better position. And that's how we landed this conversation in the first.
Donations.
Shout out to John with the $5 super chat. John says, just making sure you still know to pre-read my chats. It's facts, man. You got to come prepared out here. I'd be getting clipped up and... yeah, I'd be made a fool out here if I just read them shit straight through properly and not in a struggle fashion where you guys can tell that I'm reading it. So if I read it like I was speaking, I'd be sealed, man. All these will be clipped up and I'd be a meme by now. It'd be pretty bad. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat. Shit. I kind of tuned out everything Myron and Anton were saying in this last minute. Let's get into it.
Place with Paul Pierce. All he's saying is, now dude's got choice. Help y'all make money so you guys can be in a better position. And that's how we landed this conversation in the first place with Paul Pierce. All he's saying is, now dude's got choice.
I agree 100%. Well, I guess that's it. So, Myron, I appreciate you for coming through. Thank you, my friend.
Now, there's this problem in the red pill and the manosphere space where money is the end all be all, and the only way that you have standards or any way of enacting any standards or not taking shit is if you're a super high value man. That's why he referenced Paul Pierce and talking about, you don't got to deal with that. That's the problem in society right now. We have a bunch of people that are complacent and stuck in a place where they're just a regular dude making a regular earning, and they think that they're supposed to deal with some bullshit from a woman. And they're dealing with it actively. And then they get into the red pill manosphere space and complain about said woman. And there's a bunch of these folks doing it. And I'm like, why don't y'all leave? Like, what is wrong with y'all? Why don't y'all find what is more compatible for y'all instead of constantly getting on here and just complaining about women? It keeps you further and further and further away from the desired results. Like, I'm not just saying these things to shit on folks for being dweebs that don't get any action. I'm saying this because y'all are literally getting in your own way by continuously taking part in this cycle. It keeps you further away from the desired results. You're carrying this disgusting negativity, and you're always looking to be argumentative with women. You're talking about women. You want women that are submissive, nice, and X, Y, and Z, and they don't look to give you a headache when you come home. But your entire energy and aura is that of a person that's arguing with women and looking for a disagreement with women. Looking to be adversarial with women. You're not looking to love and enjoy the woman that you're with. You're looking to beat her down. And it's just like, what is wrong with y'all?
I want to hold you here just so I can...
No worries, bro. I'll hit you on Twitter and we'll set some up you know, in the future, I'll come in a more formal fashion so we can plan it out.
And see, Myron has he has an import. He has a Venezuelan import on retainer. Anton asked Myron, "Hey, you trying to get married? You trying to have what are you doing?" He said that he's trying to keep the state out of it. He's trying to protect himself from the woman that he trusts so much. Protecting himself, no prenup, just no state involved. So sounds like some fugazi fuck shit to me. He's just getting older and older as the days go by. He claims to have the perfect submissive woman, but he ain't knocking her up. He ain't trying to make any moves for further commitment. You could damn well tell that's a beard, man. You ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling nobody.
And announce it, but I just saw you kind of live, and I was like, you know, let me come in here and say what up, bro. Show some love.
Man, I appreciate you for coming through, my friend. Yeah, I'll set something up.
Pleasure to meet you two ladies. And thank you guys for being such good,
And you did good.
panelists.
You cooked.
Like I don't like. I give y'all the ladies one more, a flower. So I've interviewed like 3,500 women on my show, right? And one of the biggest obstacles.
You guys choose the same archetype of women, the same Instagram, the same OnlyFans thought, the same 19 to 23-year-old, and then when a woman's like 28 or something, y'all are hitting sound effects like, oh, we got an old one today, and it's like y'all picked from the same demographic of Miami streetwalkers. Oh, 3,000 women, yeah. There's 330 plus million motherfuckers in your country. So 3,000 women is a very small sample size, sir. And especially if they're all from the same type of area and in Miami, it's like, what are we doing out here?
Really? Has it been that many?
Bro, it's crazy, man. I'm like a black belt with females. Wow. Like I know what, bro. I feel like Mr. Miyagi. Like I know what they're gonna say before they even say it. I'm like literally wax off every time, like blocking attacks. But one thing, right? When I talk to women, that's been a very interesting thing that never kind of evaporates, no matter the girl's status, money, or her religious background, cultural background, is there's this level where if you say things that are controversial, they can't like just sit, listen, finish, let you say the whole point. It's like their solipsism almost gets in the way. And the way you guys have been able to kind of like listen, but let me hear this out, not interject, and like be able to be like, you know, I see your perspective. That's rare. I almost never experienced that with women. So
this is sad. That's rare. You never experienced that. So, all right, man.
Thank you for that, ladies.
Thank you.
Anton's taught you guys well, since it seems like you guys are on the panel.
If you only knew.
Probably took him years to get to this point, but hey, bro, I'm here to tell you did a fucking crazy job, man. I'm legitimately impressed.
These my girls. These are my dogs. I love them. So. All right, y'all. Well, let me read some of the super chats. Thank you, Myron. I appreciate you, bro.
All right, man. Take it easy, guys.
All right.
Oh, Anton, real quick, shout out your stuff. Where can the people find you?
Who, me?
Yeah, because I'm actually streaming right now too, so I want them to be able to find you.
They can. I mean, you could just put me in Google or YouTube, Anton Daniels, and it's on every platform. The Millionaire Morning Show, After Hours, Anton Daniels, all of that stuff. So,
boom. All right, bro. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, bro.
Anytime, man. Y'all have a good night. You too,
both.
Peace.
So that's Myron. I think that he did a phenomenal job in breaking this down, and great information. What are y'all thoughts on this whole situation?
Well, Quentin knows I don't think that women should work. I think that was the downfall of society, but I think that's a very long conversation to have.
Yeah, I agree.
I just don't understand why everybody was so quiet. When I be saying that shit, damn near the exact same things. Everybody got all the pushback in the world.
You said you get
we talk to you every day, Slimmy.
So quiet.
I know.
Wait, you said you get.
I know.
You said you get pushback on what now?
I be saying the exact same shit.
Oh no. What did you say you get pushback on?
I just said it differently.
What did you say you
We
get pushback on?
say what he says.
You say what?
Huh?
What do you say?
What do you
that
get pushback on?
No. I be saying the exact same things that he was just saying.
But
We all do.
What do you get pushback on? Is what Mika was saying. Like, what part would you normally get pushback from us on?
You couldn't
know
pos-
what parts. You know y'all
No,
don't be
I-
sitting
hold
there
on.
that damn. You know y'all don't be sitting there looking
So they were being disingenuous when Myron was here, huh?
damn
Damn.
quiet.
Who else is standing
You
their
know,
argument
you
now,
know
nigga?
y'all
You
don't be
know.
sitting there that damn quiet.
You know.
Y'all
couldn't
was
possibly
quiet.
What did
But
he
what
say that
part?
needed
What
pushback
part?
from us? What would we have not agreed with? Because we say same stuff.
He did
I,
a.
you
I
know
mean,
I you Slimmy.
He
You
didn't even come
know
up here offensive.
he didn't say. I mean, I didn't say
Oh,
anything to
so
him
I'm
that I haven't
offensive.
said to you.
Okay.
He didn't come up here offensive, but he started off by saying women are retarded. Most women are retarded. Whatever the fuck he said. I don't remember what the hell he said, but he started off disrespectful. Let's be real. Oh, shit. Shout out to Alicia. Shout out to Alicia with the big $20. Hold up. Let me get that donations drop going.
Donations.
Shout out to Alicia. W's in the chat for Alicia with the $20. Alicia says, I'm just showing support. I really don't have much for a person who is willing to allow people to call him a nigger and just brushes it off. Who does that? Say to his audience, wait, what? Who does that say to his audience of black males? But carry on. Or what does that, yeah, I fucked that up. My bad. What does that say to his audience of black males? But carry on. That's facts. That is facts. Shout out to Alicia. Yeah, Anton's a goddamn coon. Myron's a goddamn coon. It's just coon central. Hold up, chat. Give me 1 second.
Donation.
W's for Alicia.
Oh, I'm just saying, like, what's the difference?
I'm
From you and your feelings, you getting
All I'm
jealous.
saying is,
Molly, don't do that, Molly.
What she say? I didn't even hear what she said.
All right, this is what I want to get into. I want to get into this video right here. Fuck that reaction. We got through the Myron part of the interview. I want to go to the Anton's panel where they discuss the white woman calling a 5-year-old black boy the N-word. We're gonna watch their reaction. We're gonna listen to their chat. We're gonna see what type of shit goes on this coon panel. Someone says reparations. Are we still saying this? What a joke. Okay, so we're gonna get into this. We're gonna see where these comments come from. We're gonna listen to it first, and then we're gonna get into the comments. To be offended is a choice. When you become offended, who do you give the power to? All right, so I'm just gonna call you a bitch ass nigga in your face, and you're gonna not get offended, and I'm not gonna have the power. I'm just gonna disrespect you when I see you. It's just weird. You want people to just disrespect your kids, be vulgar, or throw around profanity towards your kids, whether it be the N-word, whether it be any type of disrespectful term. You don't want a grown ass woman coming up to your 5-year-old kid in a profanity laced commentary. That's filthy work. I don't know why people are making excuses for this. That's crazy. Let's get into this.
Child? Did you call the child the word? It is my own business. You call him. Okay, why don't you have the boss to say it right now again? Okay. All right, that's what you say.
You don't go digging through people.
Nobody digging through.
A little kid just did, you dog.
That little kid, you call him a. The little child?
What if he acts like one, he's gonna.
Are you about to hit him? You chase him here?
He took my son's stuff.
So that gives you the right to call the child 5-year-old and the N-word.
If that's what he's gonna act
That's
like.
what you're gonna call him.
That's what he's gonna act like.
You know, that's a hate speech. And you can be that.
I don't give
Yeah, the entitlement. She don't give
we'll
a
see
shit.
about that with the.
And it's funny because she don't give a shit, and then she got backed up to the tune of $700,000 in donations. She got $700,000 raised in her GoFundMe for that stunt. I still feel like that's ridiculous, and that's a lot of people, the Austin Metcalf supporters, that were pissed off at what happened between him and Carmelo Anthony. A lot of those folks are the people that just this is race war shit going on over incidents that are in the media.
Guys, Karen was on.
I don't hear nobody calling her a single mother. I don't hear anybody talking about how she is recalcitrant, dusty. doesn't take order. She's unsubmissive. Lack of submission and femininity. I don't hear anything from that.
Fire. But guess what? Guess what she did? She opened up a GoFundMe. Okay.
This was old. Now she's over 700,000. So within that one day, man, this is crazy.
Well, this is from yesterday. Okay. So the money probably is greater now, right? So she opened up a GoFundMe talking about the recent incident, calling the kid out and everything like that. And she wants to raise $1 million. She's at $638,000.
That's insanity.
Because of what happened. And people are donating to this cause. Okay. What do y'all think about the situation?
I don't understand how $1 million is going to help this situation.
Where is she located? Do anybody know where she's at?
That's facts, Brandon. I don't know what the money is doing for the situation. What are we doing out here? How is that helping her? She's just getting enriched by being I don't get this.
Minnesota, I think.
All right, got it.
I think that kids are off limits. Like if he did something, you could have talked to his parents.
Yeah.
To chase after him and to call a little black kid the N-word is crazy.
She just seems like she's insane.
Wait, y'all not worried about the money though?
I asked like, what I specifically said like, what is $1 million going to do to help her in a dire situation? Did like this get leaked and she lost her job or something like that, or did she get?
It's racist white folks protecting their own. They know that this gets online, it goes super viral. A lot of times when people get caught in the racial tirades online, they lose their job and become very unemployable for the foreseeing future. And they're like, yeah, we're going to get this woman's back. We're going to cover her financially. That's what they're saying. She's a single mother of two. She's a corn star. She's not getting any of that type of titling or ridicule.
Like, I hate, like, did she get sued for like hate speech or something?
Yeah, I think people started, people are going to find her some way, somehow. People are going to find her, leak her, whatever. I guess she was getting threats. But the audacity of, they said, someone in the chat said they took the GoFundMe down and it violates their terms. But the $638,000 for.
Survey said.
They did not take the GoFundMe down. The GoFundMe went up from $638,000 to $700,004.
I've seen him do it.
Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
Donations.
Oh shit, that is a savage finesse, John. That is a savage finesse.
Oh my mama, nigga.
John says 700K shit. I'd let her call me all types of ends in that while I'm breaking that back off for 100K. Tell her to hit my PayPal. I got a roof to replace. Jeez. Hey, that's a finesse, man. That is a play. That is a play.
For her calling a child the N-word and people are donating to that cause.
Did they know that they were donating to a woman that said that?
They knew. They absolutely.
How do we know?
They knew. That's why they did it.
Y'all be blindly donating to people y'all don't know where the money's going or where it came from?
Some people do that. They're frivolous with their money. I mean, I just want to know the context. Like, if they knew that, then I think that's wrong. But if they didn't know, I mean, can you really hold them accountable?
Oh yeah,
No.
it's not technically GoFundMe. It's another site that's like GoFundMe. What is this? It's Send Give. Give Send Go. Give Send Go. It's not on GoFundMe. It's on Give Send Go. See Lee in the comment section. Lee be knowing everything, man. Lee be knowing everything.
God damn.
$38,000. Those people knew.
Possibly.
And I feel like it shed light on what society really thinks about people. And two, I honestly think it reflects a lot on her that your vocabulary, your ability to process your emotions, that's the only word or terminology. One, you shouldn't have called him nothing anyway, but that's the only thing that you could come up with to call him. Like, to me, it sheds a lot about her and her ability to process her own emotions. She's very mature, and I just feel like it was inappropriate. And to say I called him for what he was in the GoFundMe bio, that is mad crazy. That is diabolical.
Y'all called each other that.
Who is y'all?
Do I have to say the uncomfortable part out loud?
Do you hear this idiot? Y'all call each other that.
Shut your bitch ass up before I get to talking shit about you.
Go ahead, Anton.
Y'all gave yourself the label YNs.
Go ahead, Anton.
Y'all gave yourself the label YNs.
Who is y'all? I'm trying to figure out who y'all is.
Society.
Your community.
Yeah.
So wait. Y'all call yourself. Let me step out of this. I don't feel like this shit tonight. I'm not.
Well, I'm gonna say it. Well, I'll say it.
I'm not.
So you mad at her for calling him the N-word, but all day, every day, 365, 24 hours a day, y'all walk around calling each other the N-word. But when white people say it, y'all pull y'all wig off, y'all throw y'all hat to the ground, you having a fit. Why? If you don't like the word, end the word. Stop keeping it going. You don't.
The reality of it is that
That's what you call an inferiority complex, pathetic coon. That's what you call.
it's the same way.
That's
Like,
what you call that.
a lot of people use different slang, whatever. So people like to say, "Oh, we took this word and empowered it." At the end of the day, that's just like fat people. You don't call them fat. We don't though. Like you don't politically correct. You don't.
No, we politically correct. We do.
I think if people are, I mean, I was just saying from like a
corporate America, are you?
I mean, I was just going to say from like a legal perspective. I mean, you know, she has every right to pretty much say whatever she wants. You know, it's not. I would say the only repercussion might be social.
Y'all sit around here and y'all call white people everything under the sun. Y'all call white people everything under the sun. It's okay when black people using racial slurs towards white people. You call them
Stop that. You're white. Learn the rules.
all types of, you crack on they pigmentation, you crack on their skin color, you call Donald Trump orange. Y'all
The nigga is orange. He is orange. What the hell? What? So okay, I'm yelling. But we're supposed to practice mental gymnastics and not call Agent Orange what he is. He's orange. He's orange, nigga. What the hell are we talking about?
Y'all can say whatever y'all want to say, but the moment somebody swing back at y'all, it's a fucking movement. Y'all crying, y'all mad. Oh my God, did you just hear what he said to this black woman? Oh my God, did you?
Okay, so we have another member of the short bus. We have Short Bus Shorty on the screen. She needs some help. Again! So you have no problem with a grown-ass adult disrespecting a child. Remove the N-word, dumbass. Remove the N-word. Take any disparaging, negative, denigrating term and fill that in. And you don't have a problem with a grown-ass woman disrespecting a 5-year-old kid. Speaking to a child in that way. This is pathetic. Y'all always take the subservient underling role, huh? That inferiority complex is shining through. But this is a mixed race woman, so why is she talking about black issues?
Do you hear what he said to this black man? It's like nobody can say nothing to y'all, but y'all can say everything y'all want to say about somebody. Y'all talk about white people like shit. The shit I see on
Until we get reparations, that's facts. Until we get reparations, I don't get shit.
I'm curious.
Not your reparations.
We are far more accountable because if we seen a black grown-ass adult disrespecting a white little child, we'd be like, wait, what the fuck are we doing out here? We would hold each other to the highest standard. So I'm like, I don't understand this.
You got reparations. You got reparations when you got Section 8. You got reparations when you got welfare. You got reparations when you ask for affordable housing.
When does crack
Now, so the cocaine's happening. When does that crack come into play?
Yeah, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad.
You got your
They
reparations.
got Section 8 and welfare too. Unfortunately, they got the same access that we got. It's the same thing.
You received reparations when you took your ass and had 4 kids by 3 different niggas, and you took your ass downtown and got a check. You get a check.
How did this happen? Who was the idiot that did this?
Now this Ava, oh my God. I think y'all have to understand how bad this is. Y'all don't, this is why I went to the chat earlier. This is why I went to the comment section. Ava and Anton were cooking.
How did this happen? Who was the idiot that did this?
She is cooking. Praise the truth.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
Ava, 100 or 1,000. Ava, 1,000% right. The black victim complex has gone on way too long.
Oh, yes. The camera loves your nastiness.
Y'all know that these people are just a bunch of racist white folks, right? Like, where's your picture, motherfucker? Where's your picture, motherfucker? Where's your picture, motherfucker? Well, people also donated to that black kid that stabbed a kid at the track meet. Not saying 2 wrongs make a right, but the world needs help. Well, people donated to his lawyer fees because his lawyer fees were significant. They were pretty substantial. They were pretty hefty. That bond was pretty hefty. So, yeah. And he was attacked. The white kid put hands on him first. I'm not saying that he was right stabbing the motherfucker, but both of them have to live with their consequences. That's what it is. They both got to live with their decisions, I mean. What did I say the first time?
Whoa.
Nonetheless.
Oh, you get some type of money every month for these damn kids. America.
They get the same thing. That's not reparations. Reparations would be the separate thing that they get.
You want reparations for something that didn't happen to you. You ain't never been no damn slave. You ain't never been through slavery. You ain't never seen a slave before.
Okay, so this is some very, very low IQ commentary provided by Ava and very pathetic audience receiving this as facts. Ava's spitting the truth, but they don't want to hear it. What part of that is the truth? Ava's cooking and telling the truth. I'm a Hispanic immigrant that grew up in this country and blame all my failures on myself, knowing when I have one, it has... What the fuck are you talking about?
You don't know what it is to go through a real struggle.
We talking about our ancestors, though.
In America, this shit is a walk in the park. What you going through in America?
I got a question about.
Reparations is a word. The issue is that this is a child. I believe that all children should be off limits, regardless of what it is. That's my only issue with it.
Wait, what if they?
Yo, John, something's wrong with John, man. Shout out to John. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat. John says, I don't call no black female nigga and no older black man except my father, cause he is. But my cousins and my brother, we grew up in the hood, so we niggas. Hey, yo, it's our word. We can use it however the fuck we feel to use the word. And when these folks try to chime in and be like, oh, well, if you don't want them to say it, don't say it. It's like, okay, so you are a subservient house motherfucker, ain't you? You a house nigga. You just doing all them chores for massa, huh? And it's just like, come on, man, you doing their dirty work. You trying to campaign for them to be able to use it if we use it. It's like, this is filthy, filthy, filthy work. We took the power back from that word. Now you want to make it a participation trophy for everybody to use so you can feel secure using it. How about no, we gonna use it, and if you use it, you get in them hands. Oh! The fuck? The fuck?
Bad though. What if their kids cuss at you though? Is it still off limits? Because these kids not
a child, cute. It is. Everybody's different, but for me, it is. If I was her, I would have went to the parents.
Donation.
If I wouldn't have done anything, I would have probably talked to my.
Exactly. You would have went to the parent. You knowing that as a responsible adult, you would have went to the parents, not set a level of trauma for a 5-year-old child to be called a motherfucking N-word from a grown white lady. That's disgusting work. And if y'all don't see it that way, it's like, how immature are you, Ava? How subservient are you to the white power structure?
mess and walked off or whatever. But to call him an N-word and try to go directly after the child when I'm sure that his parents were probably around, that's my only issue.
I feel like you're warranted to have a problem with it if you have the same energy if somebody who looked like us was to treat a young white kid or a young Asian kid. If you carry that same energy, then I think, you're entitled to being upset about that. But if you don't carry the same energy, you got to kind of think about, who you are as a person. Regardless, it's wrong, right? But I'm just interested into like the reparations real quick. What were you saying about that? About how the reparations is going to
you got your reparations when a black woman chose to be
I'm saying who's pro, who's for it.
The black community. You're not getting reparations. I wish y'all let that shit go. You're not getting anything because that was your ancestors went through that. You didn't go through shit. You're not getting reparations.
Right now, I'm not talking about you. I'm asking like why was that the response to being upset?
Because she said
no, the bringing up reparations, I don't know why she brought up reparations. It was a stupid retort, but Ava shitting on reparations and her points are just terrible.
She said until we get reparations, we can continue to say or do whatever we want to do to white people, and it shouldn't matter. That's bullshit. Well, it was something in that neighborhood.
So what I said was, when you keep saying that white people can say whatever because we say whatever, what I'm saying is we've never been on an even playing field and we never will be until we get reparations. So if we don't get reparations, we're not on an even playing field. So no, they don't get to demean us. No, they don't get to diminish us. No, they don't get to say the things that tear us down because we've already been torn down.
Okay, so
that was her point about reparations. Okay, that was her point. It's like you're not getting in on saying the N-word and acting like everything is on an equal playing field, like you can just join in with us when we've been displaced for hundreds of years and not given any reparation. So I understand that point. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
Donations.
John says white guys get mad when you call them nationalists, socialists, white recyclables, or wait, what? Yo. That's funny as hell.
What's going to make it even? So what reparations do you want? You want land? You want money? What you want? You want a house? What you want? Some grass? What you want? That's what's going to make it even when you get that. Then we're going to be on an even playing field. Because if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure everybody in this chat hit a lick one time. Everybody in this chat has hit a lick one time. And what have you done with your money? Did you invest it? Did you start a business that's still up and going? No, you went out, you bought some hair. You bought some jewelry. You bought some sneakers. What did you do with it? Y'all keep talking about this reparations.
She literally has dreads, but
like it's gonna
I don't know if those are faux locks, so let me just move on.
Change in y'all life, y'all gonna give it right back. You're gonna give it right the fuck back. Let's be honest. Because even when y'all get y'all fucking income tax check, what happens? You get that shit right back. It goes to them European companies. It goes to the Asians. It goes to a soul food place where you could never afford to eat. Now you want to go. It goes to Roof Chris. So reparations ain't gonna change you niggas. You're gonna always be the same. So stop acting like
angry.
You get reparations. We gonna be on an even playing field. We're not gonna be on an even playing field just because of reparations. Because y'all be saying stupid shit.
I understand. It's okay.
Shout out to John with the $2 super chat. John says, "Listen, my nigga, super chat don't like some words. Oh yeah, because you have to censor some of the words or they won't say it, like peckerheads. Yikes."
It's gonna be okay. I don't know.
You generalizing which one, but two, regardless of what you're referring to, when it comes to just in terms of our history, our ancestors, whatever you could say, our ancestors went through X, Y, and Z. They've always had a leg up, regardless of what people do with their money, whatever they do with their funding. You don't get a say in that. But also, unfortunately, the intelligence has lacked. the resources, the knowledge of what to do with resources, all of that stuff, that is a part of the fact that we've lacked and gone without for so long. So when you say y'all not gonna do shit with whatever, you can say all of that, but at the end,
I hate when there's literal idiots that will get up online and deny systemic racism. That's where I'm just completely out. It's like, what are we doing out here? This is a gross level of gaslighting. It's like what you do in response to it is whatever is up to the individual. But to deny the fact that it was existing, like trying to deny Jim Crow or redlining or anything like that, that's just asinine at some point. It's like, what are we doing out here? Shout out to Random University with the $5 super chat.
Donations.
Holy shit. Yo, shout out to Random University. Random University says, it's always someone who's one white person away from having kids whiter than Christopher Columbus talking this BS. Disgracing light skins everywhere. Jesus Christ. Shout out to Random University.
end of the day, it's not up to you. But if we were given resources and put in positions to learn X, Y, Z and have all those things, it may cause a difference. However, you talking about years of an issue, years that have already caused so much damage over time that it at this point you need more time to recover it. So reparations don't just look like money. Reparations don't just look like finances, and that's the problem. That's how y'all see it, and that's all that you see it as, when that's not what all reparations need to be.
All right, let me explain something to you. You are the oldest species on this planet. The black man and the black woman is the oldest species on this planet. You mean to fucking tell me that you need white people to give you something to figure this shit the fuck out?
I'm sorry, chat. This hit a new level of idiocy. Just loud and dumb as fuck. Dumb as rocks will take that too. Just a complete idiot. Like, this is so bad. I'm not even breaking this down anymore. I'm over this, man. This is pathetic. And the chat had the audacity to be like, Ava's spitting the truth. Ava's cooking. Oh my god. This is one stupid ass platform. This is the short bus platform if we have ever seen one. Wow. It's that bad.
Donations.
Shout out to IU McCoy with the $5 super chat. That 5-year-old child looks 12 years old. Then you impose your very own insecurity complex upon everybody else. Wait, which 5-year-old looks 12 years old? What the fuck? Shout out to IU McCoy. Shout out to John with the $2 super chat.
Donations.
Oh, hell nah.
Donations.
Oh, hell nah, John. John, you violating, bruh. You are violating out here. John says, why she look like a white tree of logic? Hey, yo. Hey, yo, are you talking about... Are you talking about Ava? You talking about her? You're dissing Tree, bruh. Come on, man. Come on, we ain't rocking out with that, man. We ain't dissing Tree. We are not dissing Tree. John?
Personally, I feel like that brother needed help.
We leaving that one the fuck alone. Shout out to Tree of Logic. Shout out to Just Tree 411. John trying to get me dragged. We ain't having that. All right, man. What else do we got here? You know what I want to watch? We got to wrap this up, but I want to... Hold up. Where's Random University real quick? Let me see this real quick. Why am I struggling? Okay. Hold up, chat. What do we want to watch? Do I want to see the 100 Men versus the Gorilla? Oh, there's 2 parts of this. No, I want to see the response to this. I'm sorry.
But also, I'm still trying to figure out if it's legal to live stream other women. So last night I attempted to call into LTTV's live stream and try to give my opinions on the whole Austin Holloman going out in whatever country he was in and basically clowning chicks for a couple hours at the club while he did nothing but sit on his ass and let his boy do all the work as far as trying to get the women for the evening. But since that turned out to be an epic fail, I decided I'm just gonna go ahead and respond to you this way. So hopefully you see this ASAP, LT, and maybe you might even want to incorporate it into your next one. Because the commentary on the live stream was on point. It was pretty much automatic. Everybody could see it from a mile away. What I was trying to say was that he was the worst friend to ever take out if you're trying to have fun. He was a guy who literally walked out for that evening. You know, you decide you're gonna go ahead and plan your
Hold up, we're gonna get right back at that in a second. Shout out to John with the $5 super chat.
I'm getting rich.
John says, listen, this ain't no treatise. I don't want no smoke no more. Okay, so that wasn't a treatise. All right, cool. Shout out to John. I played the wrong drop. Hold up.
Donations.
evenings, and you're gonna be like, hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and get the boys and we're gonna go out and have, you know, we're gonna go out on the town, we're gonna go to the club tonight and go get some chicks, you know, and get some drinks, have a good time, right? Well, you invite Austin out. Austin's the guy who walked in there with a chip on his shoulder, walked in there already upset, walked in there making you wonder, why did you go out in the first place? Because he carried himself with some type of attitude the entire night. The entire time he was sitting.
You know, that attitude and that energy is exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about the adversarial manosphere red pill energy. They're coming there already with this combative adversarial energy towards women. It's very off-putting. It kills the vibe.
Sitting there live streaming. First of all, I'm still trying to figure out how you're supposed to pick up chicks if you're sitting there live streaming from your phone the entire time, because you know you're just sitting there like holding your phone, looking weird over there the entire time. He didn't move because the point of view of the camera didn't change. He was looking in the same direction. It was in the same box the whole time. So you know this guy didn't get up. The live stream didn't stop. There was no breaks. He left to go use the restroom, I think at one point in time, where he handed the phone over to his boy Bobby, who once again, Jesus Christ, kudos to that man. That man was like Allen Iverson in 2001, just carrying his team out there solo. Like, Austin is the kind of guy who would bring down the whole overall of the crew that you had out. He'll start adding names to the list, like who's going out that night, and you're like, oh yeah, we're doing pretty good. It's gonna be me going out, LT's going out, Watts TV's going out, and then we add Austin Holloman. It's like, oh bruh. The overall of the group just dropped like 50 points because we decided we added him to the crew. Because he is the absolute biggest buzzkill that you'll find. He's the guy who was upset at the service the whole time. Over here wanting to call out the server, hey man, you ain't gonna get my drinks back, man. Damn, you gotta wait half an hour in this bitch to get you a drink. Sounding like some old white man at Cracker Barrel waiting for his freaking sweet tea. I mean, it's like, dude, just calm the F down. Sometimes it's gonna be busy. Did you not see there was a lot of people there? And as the live stream continued to go on, seemed like there was a lot more folks there. First of all, it seemed like it was really live in the club. Even though my whole thing about the DJs, it sounded like the DJ was from Nashville. I swear all the music they started playing after they were playing all the like ethnic music that was going on, which was nice. It was really vibey, as people would say. It felt really good. And then all of a sudden it just turned into Nashville, which was kind of wild. I mean, like, this was another country. So you have to understand, Austin was waiting for whatever reason to get, I guess, a second LIT, which he did not need, by the way, because this man's eyes were bugging. He had the glossy eyes after one LIT. First of all, this man went ahead and got into rage mode. You know how people get pissy when they get drunk? Oh, I'm whiskey drunk. And then they go out there and want to fight everybody. Oh, Austin decided he was trying to turn up like he was some type of gangster all of a sudden. First of all, the guy sat around acting like the women needed to come talk to him like he's somebody. Like, dude, people don't just know you everywhere you go. Austin Holloman, you look like every average brother that's just walking around with the same haircut and the same beard style. Like, there's a lot of dudes that can kind of play your doppelganger, so you don't stand out, man. You don't.
That's facts, man.
Yeah, that brother's starving.
I have very unique facial features, like somebody like me walking around. Like, there's not a whole lot of doppelgangers of people that look like me. I'm just saying, they're just not. I've looked and I tried. Like, there was a guy that I worked with during the pandemic that when we wore masks, he actually did look like me, and it was kind of trippy. The only thing is he was like an inch and a half taller than I was, and we talked completely different. So the folks that like came into work, the only way they could tell the difference between us half the time, because we had the same type of uniform for the most part, was sometimes you could tell I wore a vest, and then you would have to hear us speak. Once he spoke like this. I mean, he was really professional. It was quite crazy, which he said he did not always used to be that way, which is kind of trippy, but it was strange to like show up and you see me talking like this, and then you see the other guy behind the mask be like, hi, how are you today? And I mean, it was really funny. Now, even though he came off to some people as like, you know, kind of a really straight-laced, corny individual at times, I love my boy. You know, he was a cool dude to work with. He would have been a way more fun time to take in Austin now. And he would have came off as a lame-o by so many of you ladies out there. Because he came off as not street enough and whatnot, even though, like I said, the life he said he lived before was quite different. But also, I'm still trying to figure out if it's legal to live stream other women dancing and shaking their boobs and titties all over your live stream for hours. Like, is that okay? I mean, first of all, you appear for a very short amount of time when all you do is spend the entire live stream bitching, getting called out by your chat by a whole bunch of factual information that they saw taking place out there.
Shout out to John with the $2 super chat.
Donations.
John says, this dude watching Jumber. Who's Jumber? Did you mean Jumbie? Who's Jumber? What the?
He was over here saying like, man, I don't know. I ain't gonna dance up on nobody. I mean, if I had to go out there, Rihanna could show up shaking her big old butt and I was not even go out there and dance. Like, who are you? Who are you, bruh? Why are you feeling so entitled to the point you don't think you need to go out there and do any work? Hey, Bobby, go out there and fetch the drinks. Hey, Bobby, go out there and fetch the chicks. Hey, Bobby, go out there and pay for it. Like, damn, dog, what is your purpose? Are you freeloading off of this situation too? But we all have had these people in our friend groups. They're the guys that you have to eliminate from your friend group if you want to go.
Said this dude watching Number. Okay.
Go out and actually have fun, because every time you take out their buzzkill, they're always like this. They're never fun to go out. They don't dance. They stand on the back wall. They sit there on their phone, and then they complain that the women aren't any good. And you're like, dude, there was plenty of women looking for you. Then you got to the point where the women were grinding on each other. When you see the cheeks of the women start getting closer and closer towards one another, that is the window closing, homie. That's the window literally going shut. Once they start grinding, window closed. And I sat there and watched it take place. The thing I couldn't get over was the fact that this dude was acting so drunk and he had one drink. It wasn't that he was laced, because he would have been done passed out after all that time. He was just acting like he had been just downed an entire 12 pack or something like that, or he was just on some type of bender. The man had one LIT and he was truly lit. I remember the point I was trying to make in my mind earlier, and what it was we all know that person that you watch their behavior over the night, right? He could find himself saying that he was people watching throughout the night. He was talking about how, oh, I don't have to get up and dance and I don't have to engage with the people to be having a good time. When anybody who tries to say that when they're out isn't having a good time. We all know that. That's that person who's sitting on the back wall, standing still, not engaging with the women, not buying any drinks. Like, once again, he only had one drink. So he's not like occupying his brain socially or like with anything. He's not stimulating his mind while he's even drinking, because that drink was already gone and he was already acting like he had been roofied. And the thing is, those people tend to start doing the most weird behavior later in the night. The later the night goes, you realize they start acting like they're still more and more and more intoxicated. And all of a sudden they want to get all touchy-feely with the women, when it's like, bro, haven't you sobered up by now? You only had one drink. I counted.
It's like so much time went past and you got significantly more drunk after a couple hours and you haven't drank. It's like, okay, bro, what is this bullshit ass act? Shout out to John with the $2 super chat.
Donations.
John says, no Jumbie, it's almost time to go home. Hey, yo.
I was there. I paid for it. I saw it on the receipt. You didn't have anything else. You kept bitching at the server. You never got your second drink that we could see. And even if you did, it's only 2 drinks. And if it's only 2 drinks, then bro, you still shouldn't be acting like this. Then you get back to the cars or you take them back to your apartment and stuff like that. And that's when you wake up in the morning and you find out that somebody got violated. And you're like, you know what? Somehow, how did he get to that point? Not saying that that's what he would have did, but that's the behavior that I've seen happen in the past with people, where it's like, that guy wasn't that tore up. He was just finding an excuse to find another really actually drunk woman, act like he was drunk, and then justify trying to sleep with them later because, oh, we were on the same type of level when you really weren't. Extreme lightweight. I mean, honestly, that is the best way to go. Like, I mean, you don't want to spend a whole bunch of money on these drinks, considering they're like $20 a pop now, and like $10 for a damn Heineken. Way too much money to go out and drink nowadays. But to be that big of
am I killing the whole thing by reacting to the whole video? I think I may be killing the whole thing by reacting to the whole video. I should have did like half of the video, because I'm killing your whole upload. If they see it here, they don't. All right, y'all go watch the rest at Random University on his channel. I'm giving myself a I'm gonna watch this offline, y'all. I'm ruining the whole upload. You generally don't react to the whole thing when you react to something live, because then I'm stealing your upload. So I ain't gonna do that. But shout out to Random University. That breakdown was funny. I'm gonna get to the rest offline. I'm gonna wrap this show up though. We have many more topics to cover on the way. What the hell is this? Okay. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to John with I don't even know how many super chats. Shout out to John though. Shout out to John. All these super chats. Yeah, I'm gonna go watch the rest of this on Random University's channel. I hope y'all go see the rest. Give him a view. Help the algorithm promote and push that video. All videos, everything helps. All views help. Yeah, shout out to John, man. An abundance of super chats. Greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated, Alicia. Greatly appreciated, Random University. Shout out to everybody that left a like. Shout out to the haters in the chat. Y'all comments help the algorithm shoot out more people to see the video. So even if you're coming here hating, talking shit about Canada, it still all helps at the end of the day. That's why I entertain it. Still helps. Shout out to y'all for engaging in the chat. We out. Yeah. Oh shit.